Okay. Last time you addressed Mother Argyle. And subsequent to that, were accosted by an old acquaintance of like 2 weeks ago.
I believe Rev is BRB, FYI.
Oh, is Rev BRB?
I am back now.
Oh,
There we
the
go.
timing. Fantastic. Yes, you addressed Mother Argyle and were accosted by the Cardinal.
Yes.
And you heard...
Capitalized TC.
Yes. You're accosted by TC.
Top Cat.
Oh no.
This cunt.
Okay,
Wow.
TC.
Wow.
Okay, TC. God, that's old.
I believe you had decided to stay in town to meet up with some of Chris's mother's old acquaintances.
Yep. And also I was doing Fae shit on the rock.
And also you were doing face shit on the rock.
Yes.
Let's come back to here.
B hopes that is not a euphemism.
I'm gonna clean some of this
Hopes
up.
it isn't.
Would you rather I said hopes it is?
Oh
I
fuck.
don't think you would.
That's not
Yeah.
what I
Oh no, wait. Yeah, no, I got that. The logic went wrong in my brain.
Can I... Am I... Oh fuck. No, I'm not. Okay. Well, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're here.
We're here. We're up. We're up and about.
I'm failing to do all kinds of selecting things on every possible level, but that's fine. No one needs to know about that.
Lots of green shit all over the.
Literally
there
the
we go.
levels because they're layers.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that the fucking Roll20 doesn't have proper layers. It needs a scrawling on this layer for every actual layer it does have.
Thankfully, with my new improvement to my occultism skill, I don't fail my ritual thing unless I roll a 3 or lower.
So it's still possible.
Oh yeah, obviously.
15% chance.
Yep. Which is better than it was.
Yes. Okay, you are currently... Why can't I select the squiggle? You are currently in the tavern.
Oh, there.
No, well, on the other one.
The underground one?
The underground one. There.
There. Okay.
We did it. Okay.
Got it.
Such
So...
squiggle. Was the intention that we essentially skip through the bit while we're waiting for the festival to end and I'm doing occult stuff?
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless someone has something that they want to do.
Make income. Hopefully we write or hopefully we do fantastic stuff that just like makes us all international superstars overnight and catches us up to where we need to be.
Do you want that? Because that's like a Faustian pact if ever I've heard one.
I don't want to be world famous, thanks. That's fine. I'll just do some part-time work.
Yeah, Tulip will just bake pies like last time.
Yeah.
And I will do whatever it's called. Fuck. I can't even remember. Tarot, thank you.
You did
Words.
you did too many pies. That's why.
Cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine.
No, I'm not snorting my Grig. Leave me alone.
You're eating it in your pie.
You're right there, Tom.
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just looking up 1001 things while trying to also give you some direction. Right. So whoever's making... Okay, so how long did we say it was going to be until the people show back up?
I think essentially a week.
About a week? Okay, so we need an earn income from everyone.
I think... Okay, sure. So how do you do an earn income?
You want to roll whichever skill you are using.
Can I make income using occultism? Because that would
Yes.
be my best bet.
Yes,
In which case, I will do that.
Fortune teller shit would be the entry level.
Sure. Let's roll some things. So do I literally just do an occultism roll?
Yes.
Okay. Beep boop. Boop. 22. No, 29 even. Holy balls.
Wow.
Nearly a 30.
That's
Yikes.
pretty great. And B?
That depends because I do have a new lore, but I don't know how I will use it to earn income unless the church hires me for something. Probably like working more closely with them. Otherwise, I would do something with probably well, could I be like a salesperson for the pie stand, pie shop with diplomacy or something?
You could. What is the new law?
Aberration. So I don't think there's much you can do with that for income. So at least not in this.
You know what? In this case, the church will hire you with that law, but it will be related to Mother Argyle. So
Yeah.
you may not want to do that job.
Yeah, I'm imagine. Okay, so hear me out. The Mother Argyle thing is not directly linked to what B is trying to avoid. And in this case, she probably actually does want it to get resolved properly. And on top of that, I think she is the least skeptical of the church, or at least the most hopeful, like, not hopeful, optimistic about the church's, good-naturedness out of the entire party.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she does want to give them the tools to do some good.
Sure.
So, all right.
Okay. Well, that's a thing that happened.
That's a lot of talk.
That's a lot of talk. Okay. Everyone except for B
Yeah.
earns 5 silver per day they work, as that is the baseline rate for just kind of busking or doing entry-level work. B, you earn 8 copper
Fantastic.
for every day that you work, as you are essentially doing data entry for the church.
Okay.
Day 1, you fucked it, and they were like, well, we've hired them, but they're kind of a liability, so...
Sure. How many days are we talking? Like 5?
Yeah, let's say 5 for ease of maths, if nothing else.
So that makes it 5 gold. No, wait, no.
2.5
that makes
gold
it
on
2.5
success.
gold.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
get
5.
4 silver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did fuck it.
That's true. I did fuck it.
And now I need to find the page that has that table.
Actually, can I do?
Do you mean the treasure per level or the earn
Yeah,
income
no,
table?
the treasure per level. I found it. It's good.
I was gonna say I'll link it to you.
Yeah, go on then.
What's this? What did he do?
Okay, no change, and you have to use that. So that's that.
Okay.
Your halfling,
Fucking amazing.
Your small amount of halfling luck is not with you.
It gave me +1 my
Genius.
check.
Yes.
Incredibagle.
Incredibagle.
And
Right.
Should I do some occultism rolls for working on the rock thing?
Yes.
So let's do an occultism roll. Okay, night 1. Where are we? Did that roll? Okay, I passed that fucking check. Jesus.
Cool.
Over by 13.
What are you doing it on? Sorry.
Trying to figure out whatever I can about the weird crystal thing. I was trying to
yes.
true name it essentially.
Sure. It is a human female from this place, the name of which Ashorby I have forgotten. And it's got that weird characterization to it as well.
Oh, the sort of like aberrant monster
Yes.
thing in
Yes.
tiny script.
And
Okay.
that tiny rider coming with it.
Right.
So it has the name of a person, the little bit of rock.
Yes.
That's super weird.
But in the same way that like a severed hand might have the name of that person.
Oh, not like the ring does.
No.
Oh, so
Well,
it's like,
actually,
it's
very similar in the way that the ring does.
Oh, really?
But like,
except the ring is like a piece of metal.
but the ring is
Yeah.
like an object, not something that came off a person.
All right, so like this was a part of her body,
Yeah,
effectively.
because
This
you
this crystalline
yeah.
thing.
it all came
Sure.
off her when you broke her.
When you broke her.
When you broke her, yeah. We'll end the
Yeah,
sentence
that'll
there.
do. When you broke her. Yep,
Yes.
done. Okay. Sure.
Where were you when you broke Mother Argyle?
Snake. Okay. Cool. At which point, during this week, at some point, Chris would let whoever it is he has contact with, be it the cardinal or whatever, since that was a caveat to him even having access to the damn thing,
Mhm.
know what he found out.
And she'll thank you and not really
Move
do
on.
a whole move on basically.
Yep.
Write that down and deal with it in her own time.
Sure.
Tulip,
Yeah.
when you are making and selling your pies,
Yeah.
the people seem very subdued.
Oh.
It's like the few weeks after a social disaster has occurred. People aren't going around celebrating anything. They're just kind of getting on with their day and buying pies and leaving. And you know that, as far as people are aware, Mother Argyle suffered a very unfortunate fate that was of no fault of her own or the church's, and she has very sadly passed away.
Mm.
B, you know, even with that rather unfortunate performance, that it is an open secret within the church that something fucked up was happening with Mother Argyle.
Okay.
But everyone's trying to keep it pretty on the down low to the public, just so people don't freak the fuck out. Like, it's purely a social, like, not social control, but social goodness initiative.
Sure. Okay.
To try and deal with it in quiet, not to lie to people, but to give them a sense of security in their lives.
Sure. Do I have any idea of how much information got disseminated within like the lower levels of the church? 'Cause I'm assuming the higher levels know pretty much everything.
Yeah, higher levels know pretty much everything, and the lower levels are very much something went seriously and badly wrong in like an evil way, but specific details are missing.
Okay.
And you have been told by the cardinal, no less, not to tell the lower echelons of the church what actually happened. You have privileged information. You are not to tell them.
Sure, that is fine. She probably agrees with the cardinal in that area anyway. So
Cool. Zega, you are writing for the paper?
Yeah, I figured I'd probably just stay in the hotel room for the most part, unless I mean, I'll probably walk around. Like, I'm not just straight writing for 5 days straight. But I'll walk around town every once in a while. And,
Yeah, see the sights, buy some pies,
yeah,
visit Stan.
buy some pies. Literally all of
The town.
no,
Shoreby.
all of Amber's income is from
Oh, it's just
Zega. Just playing
Yeah.
hundreds of pies and scoffing them down.
just only pies.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
He's on a pie diet.
How
Pie
much?
Pie it.
How much of what happened are you divulging to your employer?
I think more than likely, because I'm using deception to make these rolls anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all like based on truths, not rather than like actually being an account of what happens.
Sure.
I'm using the events to like tell a narrative that is parallel to what actually happened.
It's definitely the Hollywood version of based on a true story. kind of
Right,
thing.
exactly.
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
Do I have any interesting tarot readings, or is anyone doomed to die, or whatever the fuck?
I mean, you get a couple of people whose lifelines are coming up a bit short, but they kind of look like the kind of people whose lifelines might spontaneously come up a bit short.
Sure.
Older folk or folk that seem a little ill. There's one unfortunate soul who you're fairly sure is going to lose an arm at some point. But it's an industrial town in the pseudo Middle Ages. That shit kind of happens sometimes.
Sure.
And on the fourth day of your collective downtime, a runner from the church shows up at the hotel and deposits in front of whoever might be staying there, probably Zigger, a sack, and says, "Payment for your services rendered."
Sure.
Sweet.
And within that sack, within that plump sack.
Lump.
I will fondle it a little bit before
Oh
I
yeah,
open it.
this is a heavy sack, and these coins seem pretty big.
They're actually apple.
Within that plump sack are 40 platinum pieces.
What?
Okay.
Oh.
So that's 10 each, essentially.
Yeah.
Is
100 gold.
a platinum 10 gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, well that sorted that out.
Yes, it did. You're gonna have to find somewhere to spend it now.
Yeah.
Woo! Treasure done. Nice.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to, after the session, I guess, figure out what to buy, because I don't even know what to buy.
I'd have to look at the gear.
Yeah, I would
This?
also have to look at the gear to find something relevant to give you guys, so I just gave you money so you can do it on your own time.
Is there a good place to look at that?
Nope.
Is there like a table somewhere?
Not a good one.
Nope.
Where could I start?
Aeon equipment, all equipment is somewhere to start, but it is a big table.
Equipment. Oh,
I will-
equipment. Oh my fucking Christ.
You could also look at armor, shields, and weapons, but for the magically inclined among you, there might not be a whole lot relevant in those tables.
Nothing for me. Do 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 do.
Would
Wait.
there happen to be a place to buy scrolls in this town, or would it be?
Oh,
reasonable
that's a good
to buy
point.
Scrolls?
This town does not have a dedicated, non-church affiliated magical organization.
I see.
You know you are meeting with some magically inclined people in a couple of days.
They're occultists.
They are
so I might be in
occultists.
luck for that. But
Can I potentially buy some divine scrolls?
You might be able to buy some primal scrolls from the church, depending on what you want.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I say divine is because if they're also on the primal
List,
list,
then it's
it'll
fine.
work.
Yeah.
Like it'll be easier to make it make sense.
Mhm.
But I will probably DM you some stuff after, and we can maybe just retroactively buy them because I don't think I want to do that right now.
Yeah,
How
there's a lot of options.
How do I
roughly
use magic
a
device
bajillion.
in
Sorry?
What is the equivalent of use magic device in this game?
There is a feat called Trick Magic Item. Skill feat.
Okay. And what is it? What is it based off of? What skill?
The appropriate knowledge skill for that school of magic.
Oh, it's based off knowledge. Okay. I can't use deception.
Yeah, no, it's Arcana, like occultism, religion, or nature,
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
and it only works on scrolls, wands, and I think staves.
Items that you have to activate rather than items
Yeah.
that you put on.
Yeah.
Because I think most items you put on just work for you as long as you attune them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Okie dokie. Well, that's a lot of shit to read. Okay,
Yes.
moving on with my
Moving
life.
Okay.
Woo!
One other question though is how do we best go through items to decide what we want to buy? Like, is the sheet the best place to look and like add gear and going through all those items, or
You
is there
know,
a third-party website that's better to like sort through things?
there really isn't a good way to do it. The official Pathfinder website doesn't have a whole lot of content. Archives of Nethys has a lot of content, but it's incredibly badly organized.
Mm.
And the Path Builder sheet probably has most of the equipment in probably about the best organization you're going to find, but it's also a bit tricky because it's designed for adding it to the sheet, not browsing.
Yeah, you can't. I did do most of my browsing there for what it's worth. I think it is probably the best way to do it, even if you still have to browse through all of it, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just spotted the bottomless stein, and I feel like Tulip should get one of them.
Bottomless stuff.
It's always
What?
filled to the brim with delicious ale.
Delicious.
What is things like +1 bonus? What does that mean for
So-
cost?
That is actually in Pathfinder 2, it's a rune you attach to the weapon, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would
You
apply.
can get some really impressive bonuses apparently if you're melee just hitting people and you've ruined up your weapon.
Yeah, you are looking at a potency rune or a striking rune.
Striking is more expensive, I believe. Potency would be right on the ball here. It's +1 to accuracy. Or +1 to attack roll.
Okay, so it's
And-
basically like having a +1 weapon. Well, I guess it's worse than that because
It's like having a masterwork weapon. You could probably
Yeah.
actually also afford a striking rune because it's 65 GP. It is technically item level 4, so it depends on if
it would be harder to find one.
Yeah, we have to find like if we really want to, right? To find this stuff, we go to one of the big cities, and wasn't that where we were going after Flaxfeld anyway? I can't remember its name. I think it's R something on the left.
Agaton.
Damn, not quite.
close, you know.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to get some grasp of what I might actually be spending this money on. Oh, can I make another like weird Fae tattoo at this point?
Yes.
Can we figure that out?
I forget what we agreed on last time, but fundamentally, yes.
Oh well, normally you're meant to start with 3 from the
Oh yeah.
feat
Yeah,
I
yeah,
took,
yeah.
but they don't. I think it's 3. No, sorry, you gain the formulas for 4 tattoos of 2nd level or lower. Although that one says 4 common, and these are not common, so
No.
perhaps 2 uncommon?
Was it
Question
feet,
mark.
Feet tattoo artist?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why it gives you. It says, "Oh, you get 4 magical tattoos of 2nd level or lower," which don't exist.
There literally aren't any.
Yeah, there are none. Good job, Pathfinder. Well done. So we can just make up another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Because there
we
are
can make
level
that
3
happen.
ones.
There
There
are.
are level 3 ones.
There are level
They're
3s.
medium. I don't know how. I think I can't remember exactly what they do.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can do the familiar tattoo thing with Tabit.
yeah. That would imply that she would agree to do so.
True.
Ugh, be even closer to Chris than I already have to be.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, all right.
Ugh. It smells weird.
I could spend, right, 11 gold on a fine Harrow deck,
You could.
which doesn't do anything.
It makes it nicer though. High quality.
It does nothing. Literally nothing. It makes no difference.
Do you already have a mat and a box?
No.
We get those.
They don't do anything either.
Okay, hear me out. When you play Magic and you have physical cards, do you not get a deck box for it?
Yeah, that's nice, but like
It's like 3 gold. You have like 100 and something gold at this point. Come on, you can spare like 3 gold for a deck box.
it doesn't do anything.
It protects your cards. What if it rains and like
They're in my
Your
bag
bag.
pocket.
Don't be silly. Wrap your Harrow deck.
Oh my fucking god. Fuck's sake, my dude.
Always
Oh,
have
there's
protection.
wands. There's wands.
There are wands.
Oh my shitting. There is one that is available. There is a level 3 wand. It costs 60 gold. I don't know what it does.
you can put a level 1 spell into it, or not. You can put like it's made with a level 1 spell in it. It has to be of your It has to be on your spell list for you to actually use it,
Or
Uh,
use trick magic weapon.
or use trick magic item.
God damn. That is wow. That is exceedingly expensive. Holy crap.
And you can use it once a day.
Oh, so it's like you have another spell prepared. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I could put like soothe in it or something.
Mm. Yeah, you could. Sure.
Just hear sorry, no, it's just hear Rev go. You could, idiot. Why would you do that?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
yeah, no, yeah, you did.
Lol.
Lull.
Did you choose to spell magic, by the way, Chris?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
no.
I might get a scroll of that.
No, I have I have augury and blistering invective. Don't actually have augury prepared at the moment because it's a bit something. I probably would have used it for any particularly discerning clients, I suppose, while doing my earn income stuff.
True.
You do have a small opportunity to spend your money before your appointment comes up. So if there's anything you want to try and buy.
I think I have a couple that I might want to try and buy.
I think we're all now just like staring at fucking.
Well, the tulips. Oh, tulips BRB. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
My Discord doesn't boot when I have OBS up because it goes into streamer
Sure,
mode.
yeah. Sure, yeah. Let's see.
What the fuck is this thing?
Can't cure the
That's a
affliction.
contract.
Oh. Frustration is slightly more.
Hey, you can get thieves tools now. Infiltrator picks. Level 3.
Oh, these are
50 gold adds +1 item bonus to pick locks and disable devices. +1 for 50 gold. Fucking Jesus.
Amber's back.
I'll come back
Yes.
now.
Amber, what? Is there anything you want to buy with your windfall?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like a magic fucking sword, but I don't think that's doable.
That's
You can
totally
get a rune
doable.
for your sword and make your sword better. I'm sorry, I have seen this on the list of items. I think I found the answer. Behold, we all need this.
Wow.
What does it do?
I don't fucking know. I just saw impossible cake. This sleight of hand for the taste buds is flavored with absinthe and honey, and always resembles something completely unlike a cake. From a pile of armor to a bowl of soup. Eating the cake gives you the confidence to make the impossible seem possible. For 10 minutes after the meal, you gain a +2 bonus to your deception checks to impersonate, as well as to lie to convince others that you possess knowledge about the type of item that the cake resembles.
Oh, I was gonna suggest that it looks like a pile of poop, like a poop emoji poop. But you probably don't want to be able to lie about poop.
I am a scatologist,
Yeah.
yes.
Holiday.
Ew.
Not a very admirable profession, but
I mean,
whatever pays the bills.
yeah, whatever pays the bills, I guess. Weapon attachments. Okay, I will.
So you want
Take a
to go in Path Builder. If you click on your weapon and go to options, you can attach a potency rune and a striking rune, and you can just about afford both. I think, maybe.
Okay, I will do that.
Do people somehow might have much more gold than me, or am I just confused? Or
Well, we got 10 platinum pieces, which is
Yeah.
100 gold.
but the cheaper one you said earlier was like 60, right?
You mean
60
striking?
gold?
No, the cheap for the weapon enchant.
Yeah.
The +1 is 35 gold. The striking enchant, which is a higher level than we currently are, so I don't know if it's available, is 65 gold.
So 110
Okay.
total, which is just about affordable if you haven't spent much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a total of 105 gold and 6 silver, but I spent a bunch of mine making my tattoo.
I have
Okay,
117 gold. I don't recall.
But like,
spending-
I don't know if you you probably just want to take the +1. I don't know if actually, and maybe get some other equipment.
maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Depends on what the weapon enchantments are. Maybe there's a fun weapon enchantment.
I suppose the issue for Zigger is that he's got 2 weapons to upgrade, right?
There is a item called the Doubling Ring, I believe, which lets you transfer all runes to a paired weapon.
Ooh.
Although I think he's not using 2 weapons. He's using a cloak, right? The fainting cape.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you do have a dagger. I don't know if
I
you're...
do have a dagger, but I don't often
You're
use
not...
it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, this is the item if it is relevant to you.
Gotcha.
It's essentially to solve that issue. Cost 50G.
Hmm.
I have
What
some
the
scrolls
heck
that
is
I
it?
would like to inquire about, see if they have them.
Sure.
List them out. And
Oh.
these are all in the divine list
Sure.
and primal list, so I can actually use them. But and I believe these are all actually 2nd level spells.
What do you how do you see weapon enchantments, like what would be like flaming or whatever to like do the d6 extra damage?
That would be the runes rather
Yeah,
than
runes,
options.
okay. I was looking in weapons and could not find it.
Yeah. No, it's more modular in Pathfinder 2 than it was in previous D&D likes. I think you don't really get any particularly exciting ones until like level 6 or so. Level 5 gives positive damage to undead. But if it's uncommon, you're less likely to be able to find it. So.
I may have found something useful here on a Reddit thread. Here you go. This is a advanced treasure table for Pathfinder 2nd edition.
How up to date is this?
I don't know, but it looks alright.
Fairly up to date.
Does that seem helpful?
Looks
It gives
helpful.
yeah, I was gonna say it gives value or like money. So that's
Yeah, it gives price and
prices,
whatnot.
categories, adjustment. Pages on books, which is handy, and it's by level as well, which is really good.
So there you go. And I think they're all actually links to the equipment. They are, yeah. That's actually quite useful.
So I don't really understand. Is striking the rune that is giving a +1 property, like say for instance, fanged or whatever, or is
So
striking something different?
basically there are 2, like, you know how there's +1 on weapons normally for other
Yeah.
systems. So that's kind of split into 2 halves, 2 different types of runes in this system. One is the runes of potency, which are 2 bonuses to attack rolls, and then on different levels you also have access to runes of striking, which are bonus to damage. The way they do that is instead of doing a +1, it increases the number of damage dice by 1.
Okay, so
Weapon will do
gotcha.
2d6 damage instead.
So if you say you have a +1 weapon, at that
It
point it's
doesn't.
just similarly assumed to be just potency and not striking.
Correct. You would say if it was a +1, then +1, you would call it a +1 weapon of striking or whatever it's called.
Well, I mean, can you do like can you unbalance the striking is much higher
You
than the potency, or
you
how?
can, but the levels and pricing for them are such that you probably get them when you have access to them, and there's a certain progression to it. Like your second striking rune only happens at after you initially get access to your second +1, or your +2
Okay.
rather.
What and then how do you factor in like shock? You know, if I want to get a shock
Those
on a weapon.
are property runes. I believe they're called.
Yes. So you have fundamental weapon runes are your striking and potency runes, and you can have one of each, and they level up independent of each other, and they also give you the ability to have a property rune. So if you look at the weapon potency +1 fundamental rune, it says attack rolls with this weapon gain a +1 item bonus, and the weapon can be etched with one property rune.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
So
then
if I
those
was going to have, like, say, for instance, a +2 striking 1 weapon of shock or something like that, how do you say that? Like, what is the proper like use of?
That-
You know,
Potency 2, striking 1, shocking, I guess.
no. Okay.
yeah, the naming sense is a little clunkier. The property runes have their own price tags too, so
Yeah.
those are completely
The
separate.
trick is to just give the weapon that you're upgrading constantly like an actual name, and then it's
Okay.
the Ziggurator.
It's Chinchin Maru.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Tom,
Yes.
Oh, one
just
last
looking at-
question, real
oh,
quick. I
sorry, carry on.
apologize. When you find runes in the wild, do you just like find them and then you can just stick them on weapons like willy nilly? Like, do you find, like, if we go to the wizard's tower or whatever, that we're going to in Flaxfeld, do you just find runes just sitting out on the table and you just stick them on weapons and you're good to go?
I
Or-
believe you can. Yeah, I think there is a way to do it.
Okay.
And I think that's probably listed somewhere.
Yeah, it's called transferring runes because initially, if it's by itself, it's on a rune stone, and then you can transfer from a rune stone onto a weapon, or from a weapon to a different weapon if you're changing your weapon.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's
Sorry.
there's a crafting check involved, and if you're transferring from a weapon to a weapon, then there's a cost involved, a slight cost involved. Otherwise, there's just a check.
Okay, right. Okay, hang on. Fucking hell. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing here. For crafting, since I actually have this skilled,
Mm-hmm.
you can make batches of consumable items.
Yes. It's like the
So-
only worthwhile use for it.
So could I make healing potions in this downtime? Like, could I like drop a couple days of work and make healing potions?
Do you have craft alchemy?
I have
Or
no
some-
idea.
Or
Is
some
that a
form
feat?
or some form of alchemical crafting?
I
It
have
is a
I have
feat.
crafting trained and I have the basic crafter's book, and I can just buy an alchemist's lab. At which point I should be able to craft.
I'm fairly
Alchemy
sure.
has no feat.
I'm fairly sure you need alchemical crafting to craft potions.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is a
it's a
feat.
skill feat. Yeah, okay.
You
Similar to
could
how you
so
craft tattoos.
you can make tattoos because you've got the tattoo crafting feat, and you can make like chairs and tables and probably like swords and armor if you really want, or arrows if you were doing consumables. But alchemy
Sure.
is chemistry. It's a different thing.
Yeah, so I'd need a skill feat for alchemical crafting to do it. I may pick that up next level so I can just make fucking health potions. That's well, is it next level? Yeah, next level. That
Reasonable.
seems good. Question mark. Anyway, right. Never mind then. I'll stop looking at that because I've just got like a million pages open on crafting. Fucking Christ! I may just buy a wand and call it a day right now.
Yeah, you can give that a go.
What's a staff of fire? What does this do?
Rev.
Yes.
They do not have guiding star readily available,
Sure.
but the others are. As scrolls, this is right.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
scrolls. Okay. A different item. Do they also have an anti? Do they have anti venoms available?
As in the potion.
Yeah.
Yes, they probably do.
It's a flat check to end persistent poison damage.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll probably pick some of those up because scrolls in this setting, in this system, do scale with my level. so it will keep up even if I don't use them for a
Mm.
while. Okay.
Yes, they do have anti-venom.
Okay, so then I will buy one of each of those scroll.
Is
Chris,
that
you don't. What's up?
is that anti-venom specifically to protect you and the party against your own summons?
No,
Because like 3 of your summons have a poison component to them.
they wouldn't turn on the party. This is just because like persistent poison damage is scary and it costs like 6 gold to pick one of these.
Did you need me to do a thing?
Do you have any of the spells on that list that I
Wait,
posted? Just to make sure I'm not doing any. I don't think
wait,
you do.
list? Dispel Magic, Guiding Star. Not that I know. No, I have Soothe, but I don't have like.
Sure, I will then purchase one of each except Guiding Star for a total of 36 gold and then Anti-Venom for 6, so 42.
Sure.
Okay. What does this thing do?
Save the rest.
The one doesn't like break after you use it, does it? It's just
No,
like
it's limited to 1 use a day, I believe.
You are technically allowed to use it a second time, but if you use it a second time, that's called, I think, an overcharge, and that has a risk of breaking. So if you just use it once, then no, there's no risk.
Cast the spell again, then roll a DC 10 flat check. On a success, the wand is broken. On a failure, it's destroyed.
I need to do it
Yikes.
again.
Okay. If it's broken, presumably you can fix it.
Yeah. Consumables. Anti-venom potion. Let's. Those.
sorry, I think we've derailed a little
No,
bit.
it's
so-
fine. It's fine. If it's what you guys want to do, then it's what we'll do.
Very shopping.
I went ahead and did the +1 potency, +1 striking thing, on the assumption that that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm still looking at other stuff while we're waiting.
Sure.
But I'm ready to go whenever.
Sure. Rev,
Yes.
do you have any suggestions if I were to buy a wand, what spell to put in it?
Typically something that you will cast every single day, ideally, and something that is probably usable outside of combat. So either something with a longer duration or something like a healing spell, although even that is kind of borderline.
Interesting.
I would
I don't
not
know,
pick anything that is more niche.
I'd say a healing spell isn't that borderline. Like it
Yeah,
may,
yeah,
it may not get used every day, but it's there when you fucking need it, and that's the important
Right.
thing.
I'm contrasting against something like, I don't know, like I guess these also don't get used every day for not actually adventuring, but like mage armor if you really needed that, or
Yeah,
like
true.
that kind of thing, or false life, for example. But yeah, I mean, heal is pretty common.
How expensive is an ever-burning torch? Is that a thing that exists still?
I believe it's 15 gold, if I remember correctly.
It's on the sheet. If you look at first level items, it's on the right in random permanent item, ever burning torch.
Okay. No, I don't need it. I was just curious. Dark vision and all that.
Yeah, it is 15G.
Might be something to consider for those of us who don't have dark vision.
For those scrubs.
What does mage armor actually do? Literally +1 bonus.
Yeah, in this system is not that good. It's just
+1? Is that it?
yeah, and it doesn't scale because it does not stack with runes on your armor. So it's strictly an early game thing.
Yikes. I can't even wear armor. Is there like light armor? Is there like a armor that isn't like just clothes that I can wear, or like?
The answer is no, because you don't
no.
have proficiency in light armor or anything.
Which
Okay,
would make mage armor objectively better than any form of armor you can wear.
For a little while, yeah. But
I mean, yeah,
I don't know
until you
if
start getting resilient runes on your clothing.
which, to be fair, is level 5. Not resilient. Armor potency, level 5.
Sure.
So
So
you'll get
2
used
more
to that,
levels. Lol.
which is
Yeah.
an amount of time. But don't think I would spend a wand.
What?
gold
So your character level doesn't limit you from having higher level gear. It
Mm.
just makes it less likely that you'll be able to
Oh,
access it, and it
fair enough.
generally is an indication of an increase in cost.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So armor potency is 160 Gs then. So that's what you'd be paying to get an equal effect for no wand, essentially.
Or you could get the wand and just not bother with anything until you have the 1060 Gs to put into an armor potency +2.
Well, I mean, I would more consider getting the wand as a heal, replacing Soothe as one of my prepared spells with Mage Armor, and just having Mage Armor as one of my spell slots.
Yeah, oh, you did. Tabit does know it, I believe.
Yes, Tabit knows Mage Armor. I have picked it at some fucking point, I'm pretty
Yeah.
certain.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Because I get 2 more spells per level.
Mhm.
The other thing I was considering was just feeding Tabit some scrolls. I could literally, if you want us to know Dispel Magic, I can just buy it and like feed it to Tabit, and then I know Dispel Magic.
Oh well, I did just buy a scroll of Dispel Magic, so
I mean, if you want me to buy the scroll of Dispel Magic and feed it to Tabit, that's a pretty good use of gold. And then I know Dispel Magic. Ta-da!
It isn't necessarily prepared each day.
No, but I know it.
Yeah.
I only get two level 2 spell slots.
that is
So
sure we can. If we
I
do
mean,
that,
you could get the scroll, so we definitely have it when we need it, and then I can buy a scroll and just again feed it to Tabit. How much was the scroll?
12 Gs.
12. That's fine. All right, sure. I'll buy a Dispel Magic scroll, presuming I can.
Is this like that tool purchasing paradigm of buy the cheap one, and then if it breaks, you're using it enough that you need the expensive one?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. So now I know now Tabit knows Dispel Magic.
Sure,
Woo.
sure. What about this one? I think they would have this thing here. It is a mining town, so
A
Why is it not-
lifting belt.
I've sort of had my eye on this one. More of a nice to have than a need to have.
Yeah, you know what? In this town, they do. But it is still 80G.
That's fine. So I am actually going to not buy the Dispel because I can't afford this otherwise. Because I do want to. It seems like a fun item. I'm going to retcon the Dispel Magic scroll buy and buy this instead.
Sure.
And go down to like 4.
Can I? Oh, actually,
Did you find
can I
something
get Can I get a hold of a scroll of invisibility?
Invisibility.
Because that's a spell worth knowing. Question mark.
Do you have a reason why a church would stock a scroll of invisibility?
No, that is a fair comment. I don't. That's fair. I don't know what else level 2 spells I would take.
Like that,
maybe
that limit is only because you are in the town you are currently in, which is industry, and the church is there.
No. It's fair. Like the other ones is like, how about hideous laughter? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Okay, that's fine. I think I'll buy a wand of soothe. I think that's helpful. So I'll spend 60 gold on that and be happy enough.
It's actually it's just a really nice stick that you rub on people.
I assume that I can get a hold of a healing wand.
Yeah, they'll have healing equipment.
Okay, add gear. Is it called wand or magic wand?
The quartermaster at the church is a bit like, oh, we only have a few of these, but I guess we can sell like 1 or 2 of them.
Wait, where is it? Magic Eisen? wand. Is it called wand?
I don't know if
I can't
wands are actually in here, except for the
Yeah, I
specific.
can't see it. No, there it is. Wands. There's literally a thing. Wand of. Oh, there's like specific wands.
Yeah.
But it's not got a wand of spell.
Yeah, I think that is the case.
What the shit? That's bizarre.
It's I think it's one piece of missing functionality in Path Builder.
Yeah, if you add a custom gear and just give it the appropriate name and traits and stuff.
Is there
At the bottom of the add gear dialog is a custom button. It's a little awkward, but it's probably the best
create
option we have.
custom gear. Magic wand. Item level 3. Price 60 gold. Bulk 0? I don't actually know. L. It's bulk L.
L, light, yeah.
Bulk L. Description. Casts a spell. 1, and then usage. 1 per day. Plus overcharge. Action? 1 action?
Yes.
I have no idea.
1 action, I believe. Let me check, actually.
It might be 2, I don't know. Cost.
No, it's the normal number of actions for the spell.
So 2.
2, yeah.
Cast Soothe on the target. There we go. Boop. Magic Wand. Buy. What do you mean I can't? Oh my god, for fuck's sake, I already took the money off. 9.
No, indeed.
Oh my god, please tell me the thing is still there. Yes, excellent. Buy. Yes. There we go, sorted. Wait. Oh lol, it's put it into the gold column instead of the platinum. Well, okay, sure. I have 33 gold. Good job, me. Yep. Okay, I think I'm done.
Cool.
I learned to dispel magic. I just love the idea that like I bought the scroll, like rolled it up and just sort of pushed it into Tabbit. Like, eat the scroll.
Just Tabbit's there like Popcat, just bop, 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 bop as the scroll goes in.
Yeah, pretty much. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh no.
It's just a useful thing to have is dispel magic, methinks.
For sure.
And then I will change that to
Just so we have a baseline of the performance of that belt I just bought, Fish.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and this does not preclude having to grapple something if I'm willing. So this is mostly for willing and like out of combat situations, or entirely for that.
back.
But a medium creature is 6 bulk, and 8. The 8 bulk that the item allows me to carry as if it were weightless is somewhere between 40 and 80 pounds, because it's 5 to 10 pounds per bulk.
Sure.
So I can pick up Chris if he's annoying me, and he
Yes.
he doesn't fight too much.
I think. Well, I mean, you'd have to account for the bulk of his gear as well.
Oh, that's true. Chris, what's the bulk of your gear?
what?
What's the bulk of your gear? How much gear do you have?
Like bugger all.
It's like 2, so yeah, you can totally pick up Chris as though he's weightless.
Perfect.
I mean,
that will require you to succeed a grapple check, but you can do it.
I can do that.
Okay. Cool.
Is there a way for me to make the sheet acknowledge that I have cast mage armor? How would I?
You just put a +1 in your armor class, I think. Like
Where?
there's a temporary.
Oh, I meant on Path Builder. Sorry.
Oh.
Yes, I believe mage armor is actually in the list of armors.
Really?
Yeah.
It is.
You can give yourself a mage armor.
Boom. Now I'm AC 17. Boom. Christ. My AC is poop.
Not the worst.
Yes, it is. I believe it is.
I mean,
the party, the worst.
I mean, the others in the party are 20, 20, and 19. So
yeah, exactly. That's considerably better. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the only other caster in the party has light armor proficiency.
Yeah.
I actually have medium armor proficiency.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Chris wouldn't wear armor.
He wouldn't wear clothes either. I mean, what?
Lol.
Oh, is that the kind of game we're playing?
That's what I'm
That's the kind of
saying. He's a fucking stoner. Like he's
Why
got
does
the
that
spirit.
mean not wearing clothes? What the fuck?
That's like
Right,
something
anyway.
a stoner would do.
Okay.
We're
I
playing,
have finished.
D&D on a nudist colony now.
I have finished dicking about with my character. Done.
Fantastic.
Thinking about.
Willies.
Has everyone decided what they're going to buy?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, what did you do with your one, Amber?
I'm saving my money for right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No improvements to sword.
No improvement necessary, bisex citizen.
Bisex pie. No.
I like the idea that you sell pies by like the quarter or the slice, and whenever you need to cut one, you get your fucking bastard sword out and just
But-
chink.
Yeah, that's part of the show. That's part of the appeal. You gotta.
Oh, no.
It's
True,
the
I
razzle
can see
dazzle.
that.
Your
see that.
sword bay.
Yeah.
Tulips bisected pies.
Yeah.
Oh
Unfortunately,
no.
it comes with bisected containers, but you can probably live
No,
with that. Might be
other knives too tiny.
Oh Jesus.
Chris
It
is
is.
not watching over this.
It is the
There-
dawn of the 5th day.
Yay.
There's something called blast boots. They cost 3 gold pieces, and they come in lesser, moderate, and greater versions. The lesser version costs 3 gold pieces, and it allows you to high jump or long jump without needing to stride first.
Ooh,
That sounds pretty cool.
that's handy.
Skill feat.
I'm
jump.
picturing that, like it says, these sets of rockets come in pairs and strap onto existing footwear. So like, I'm picturing like little tiny jetpacks on your feet.
Yeah. Are they consumables? They are.
Presumably.
Yeah, they're consumable.
That
so,
explains why they're that cheap then.
yeah.
Oh, how much do you think it would cost if they weren't?
More than 3 gold.
The equivalent to the quick jump skill feat.
Yeah.
Which I almost took, by the way. I decided balance was more important than jumping, but yeah, I'll probably get that next one. That's my next.
We'll see about that.
Are you planning on killing off the guy?
No, well, no, I'm not planning on killing off anyone. We'll see if it's more useful though, because I have no idea yet. So I don't know how you could.
All right.
Yes, it is the dawn of the 5th day. You have a meeting planned.
Yes.
Now,
With the cardinal?
I have forgotten one crucial factor. Was your mother's coven named?
We didn't give it one yet.
Okay,
No.
cool. That's good.
You can choose as you wish.
Yes. Okay.
Right. It was on the top side. It was like a bookshop or something,
It was
if
on
I
the
remember
top
correctly.
side. Let's go to the top side. I think it was over here somewhere.
Yes.
One of these.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Dupe.
So you make your way over from the tavern. The guards nod to you. You've got a little bit of recognition in this town now. At least among those in the know. And you come to the bookshop, and behind it is the same person who I've completely forgotten.
Yep, he didn't know anything about it all.
Nope. Just book shopping around.
Sure. I mean, okay. I guess we walk in, question mark? Walk up to the guy and be like, hey, I came to speak to you previously.
Oh yes, I remember.
Is anyone back at this point?
Yes, I think they're expecting you actually. Let me get you a drink. And he slips off into the back for a few moments, and then comes back with some cups of tea, and gestures for you to sit in a set of chairs in the corner around a nice little table, like you sometimes find in these sleepy bookshops.
Sure. Wander over to that then and sit down.
Wonderful. Is everyone going to take a drink?
Yep.
No. No, I don't think I will.
Chris will look at Tabbit and look at the drink and be like, "Does that smell weird?"
Yes.
Okay, but does it smell weird to a human? Not just to a cat.
Perception check.
Yeah.
Where's my thing?
I'm very distrustful for some reason.
Yeah.
Boop.
Oh, it definitely
But-
smells.
Yeah.
It definitely smells weird.
In what way? Like, does it smell herby or what?
It's very herby, but it's got a slightly acrid back of the throat kind of element to it.
What is
All
this, some
the
fucking
almonds.
nightshade tea? Jesus. Yeah, is there a potted plant nearby?
Yes.
Alright, Tulip's gonna try and subtly pour the tea out into that.
Stealth, if you're gonna do it subtly.
Oh man, but that, like, I can't, like, oh, that's actually not that bad.
You catch the eye of the proprietor who frowns at you but doesn't really say anything.
I mean, she would just shrug and be like, whoops, clumsy.
Here,
Do
have
something
another
about
cup.
it.
I love the idea. Like, picks it up, literally just like holds hand out to the side, pours, whoops, clumsy.
Yeah, makes
Puts
direct
back on
eye contact.
table.
uh,
Is this like a ritual thing from the coven that I know of? Are we meant to like? Are we meeting of the minds? This shit. Like,
Do an occult for me.
sure.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this is a meeting of the minds type shit, and Tulip just ripped up her invitation.
Sure. At which point, Chris will be like, "Oh yeah," and just like down it.
View will kind of look between Chris and Tulip for a second, shrug, and she wasn't going to. I mean, this is Chris's mother's coven, so even though she doesn't know too much about it, you know, they're probably not trying to immediately kill us. She will drink.
Zigga?
No, Zigga already drank. Like
Zigga
I
already
drank.
drank. Okay.
Yeah, I was the first one to say I was gonna drink.
Zigga didn't give a shit. Free tea. Good shit. The proprietor, you can see, goes over to the door and locks it, and then goes back behind the counter and looks to Tulip and says, "You're in for a really boring couple of hours, I'm afraid."
Why was I meant to be high for this?
Pretty much. And Tulip, you can see all of your siblings kind of wavering a little, and then kind of slumping back in their seats.
Somebody needs to be the sober one here, so I guess I'm the fucking designated driver.
You are the trip sitter.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that what they call a trip sitter?
Yeah, someone who sits in on the trip and is either very experienced or sober, just to make sure no one freaks out, everyone is hydrated and having a good time.
There, okay. I
Uh,
appreciate it.
and the rest of you, everything starts going a bit woobly. And eventually, you kind of come to your senses a bit in a very strange place.
Holy shit, that's a lot of cats.
It's
And you very much feel like yourselves, but when you look at each other, you don't look like yourselves.
Are we cats?
Chris, you look exactly like Tabbit. Like, exactly like Tabbit. Zigga is also a feral-looking cat, but is, like, tortoiseshell patterned rather than his normal black. And B, well, B's a horse.
What? Wait, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not a
I
really
see.
tall one, but one of the more, like, slender Arabian varieties, I think they are.
I see.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah.
Mongols rode you to battle or whatever.
And in front of you, down this wide, mossy passageway, flanked on either side by large flowery rocks, you see a hell of a lot of cats,
Cushions.
all sitting on cushions, and the ones that you can see are looking back at you expectantly.
Is Tabit here,
No.
or do I just look like Tabit?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
right there. Tab is right there.
All right. I'm
B,
just gonna.
B literally looks down on the other two, and before trotting forward,
Trotting.
it's the
He's
B sees
literally a forest
appropriate.
girl.
Oh, I have to ask since she's not here.
Mm.
What was Tulip gonna be?
Either a Labrador or a Golden Retriever. I hadn't quite.
Oh, dog.
I was guessing like French bulldog or something, so I wasn't too far off.
I was
Just
gonna a loyal and powerful guard dog of some kind.
Dog.
Since there doesn't seem to be a space for us to sit on a cushion, I guess I head up to the red carpeted bit.
Yes, and in front of you are 5 various, obviously magical birds sitting on perches, looking down at you expectantly.
Is this a heron?
That is a heron.
What's this one?
You have before
one?
you an ibis, a heron, an owl, a hawk, and a raven.
Okay, interesting.
Could you all please do perception checks as you come up the aisle?
Except for me, right?
Except for you, because you aren't present.
Yeah.
Lol, no. Lel. Considered one of the pitfalls of my class, my perception never gets good.
Pitfalls of my self in real life is that I can't roll above a fucking 6.
Are you still on a +6? I think I'm on a +7. You should have better than me.
I don't know.
We can check
Oh
that.
wait, no. What's your wisdom mod?
Minus
Have you got
5.
any?
no.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. Sure.
B? Rev?
Has Rev disappeared? Because he sort of moved halfway up the aisle.
Temporarily blew out.
Oh, okay.
Your what temporary blew out?
Internet.
Oh, good.
Now it's back.
Cool. Could you do a perception for me, please?
Sure.
We all
Wow.
suck.
Okay. You stand before the Parliament of Dyer's Dyer.
Dyer's Dyer.
Dyer's Dyer.
Is that like Dyer as in someone who dyes things?
It's
Dyer.
DYER''S DI. No. Fuck. DYERSDIRE.
Yeah.
Dyer's Dyer.
Okay.
And the birds are looking down at you expectantly, as you have asked for this meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Chris is going to look about at just this gigantic gathering of cats and birds, weirdly, and sort of wander forward. It's been a long time since I've seen any of you. I guess still technically is a long time. Hi. I can't really demonstrate it because I don't have. Do I have the ring on like one of my paws or something in here or not?
I'm gonna say it is around one of your cat wrists.
Sure. In which case you'll like pad up, I guess, and be like, so I wanted to talk to you a lot about this, and like holds up the leg.
There
with
is
the ring on
immediately
it.
a lot of angry and upset bird noise. No one is happy with this being here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I guess that might be the case, but could someone explain the hell is going on? Because I've like looked into it as best I can. Do I have like a massive tattoo up one of my legs at this point or something?
It'll be a difference in marking. You'll have
Sure.
like a white patterning in the same shape, I guess.
That makes sense.
Sure. In which way, it like, yeah, I've looked into it as best I can. Waggles arm with pattern, but I don't know what's going on really. I was hoping you guys might.
You would do well to stay away from that.
Right? Why? What is it?
It is a person, and that alone should alarm you.
Yeah, you see, that's why I was looking into it, because rings aren't people.
No, they aren't.
So how would you do that? Did someone like fuck up a spell and now they're like part of them is in the ring? Or like did someone have this done to them? Have they been cursed? What's going on?
Normally, one of our patrons might have taken them and acted perhaps in bad faith, we would say. Perhaps in their own interests, they might. But why would they put them in a thing and not just take it? No, this was done by Magic Fell.
Right. Okay. So someone's figured out how to do this?
Yes, someone has stolen the heritage of our patrons.
Right. Do you know at all who that could be?
No.
Oh.
No, we do not. And we should.
Okay. Now what? It's just sort of like, okay, well, shit. I was hoping these people would know.
We thought you might be here to rejoin us, brother.
Oh, right. That's what was going on. Sure. I don't really know why Mum didn't take me to see you more often. When, out of character, when was the last time I saw these people?
Oh, you haven't ever seen these people.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why Mum didn't take me to meet you ever.
The the birds look between themselves and then look down at you almost pityingly, and the ibis is like, she died.
Yeah, I know, but not until I was, practicing, sort of.
You certainly were practicing. This is no place for children.
Oh, right. Well, that
Imagine
sucks.
coming here and being a kitten.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Assuming Mum was in good standing here.
She
Hopefully.
had lapsed, but time is long. People lapse.
Sure. Do I need to do something?
Oh, you will be called upon if you wish to join at some point. There are dues to be paid, of course.
Right. And do I what happens? Like do we help each other? Is there like a secret handshake? What's going on?
I would expect that we will help each other, yes. Where as and when we can, such that it does not disadvantage each party.
Great. Okay. Cool. He sort of looks around as like, is there like a thing I have to do now?
Could you roll me perception, please? As you
Sure.
look around.
Boop.
Okay. You notice two things as you look around.
Mm-hmm.
One, all of the cats apart from one are staring at B.
B is looking slightly uncomfortable, probably.
Okay.
Two, the cat that isn't looking at B doesn't look very fuzzy. They look very faceted.
Oh.
And they are really focused on Chris.
Faceted,
Yes.
as in like geometric.
Yes.
Do they look like they're made of stone or something?
More crystal.
Right, and it's particularly interested in me for some reason.
Yes, and it's not got the kind of cat body language of aggression or anything. It's more of a... If a cat could look at something nostalgically, it would be.
Okay. Is it like if Chris catches his eyes staring at him, he's like, "Do I know you?"
The raven speaks up and says, "Do you not recognize your own?"
I don't know. Do I recognize them, Tom?
Oh, do you recognize them? Roll me a flat wisdom.
No, sure. Whiz.
Something is tickling at the back of your mind of familiarity, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Sort of. It's what he says. Maybe.
The birds are all looking at each other very pityingly again. The tragedy
Right.
of youth.
Okay. Who is it?
She was your mother's familiar.
He sort of frowns and looks back at them and is like, "Really? They stick around?"
Well, they have to go somewhere.
I thought they went back to, I don't know, whence they came.
From whence did you think they came?
Not a clue.
The raven spreads its wings as if to gesture around.
Right, so this is like a familiar repository.
It is. It is an intersection of home and a safe meeting place.
Well, okay. So that being there doesn't mean that Mum isn't dead. That's not a thing.
I'm afraid your mother is most certainly gone.
Great. Is the cat still staring at me, this geometric cat?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's unnerving, I guess. Turns back to all the birds. Okay. Well, that was mostly what I wanted to talk to you about. So, unless you need something from me right now?
I don't think so. I'm sorry we couldn't help you more directly. We will
No worries.
We will send a message in future regarding your application.
Sure. All right then. Thanks for meeting me. Which one is the one staring at me?
That one.
All the way in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're kind of just letting us leave at this point, because he doesn't really have anything else. He wanted to bring this up, and they're like, "The fuck is it?" So that's what the answer he's gotten. So I guess he'll sort of start leaving at that point.
The hawk will make a very loud noise. And squawk at you. Don't bring her back.
What?
The
bring
horse.
who back?
Don't bring her back. She
Why?
isn't welcome.
He looks exceedingly uncomfortable and shrinks a little bit.
Because
she becomes a pony.
So she's not welcome because
of who she is.
My sister.
Racist. That's fucking racist. That's not even okay. Tulip's not even there, and she's standing up ready to take a swing at like she can't even see.
There is no blood between you.
Bitch.
Okay. All right. Fine. Sure.
They seemingly have no problem with Ziggo.
But he's, no, I'm going back on mute. Fuck this.
It's I mean, it's because this is a different type of spellcaster, right? Like that's Chris's assumption. It's like, sure. She practices something a little different.
We all practice something a little different.
Well,
Wait, so it's not about her casting?
Why would it be?
I have no idea. What is it about then?
It's about who she is. It's about her blood.
Chris like looks at looks at B and is like, yeah, looks just confused at her. Any ideas?
And she says in a kind of a low voice, I don't know, maybe because Dad was a halfling.
Turns to look back at them because she's not human. That can't be it. Zigger ain't, and you don't give a shit about that.
You're
Points
getting
at
you're getting a lot
Scrag-
of cold, steely stares.
Points
Mostly,
at
mostly
Scraggly Cat.
from the hawk and the not faceted cats. The other birds are kind of a bit over whatever is now happening here.
Is there a roll I could make to try and discern what the fuck they're on about at this point?
Yeah, do me an occult because these are very occult flavored peoples.
Sure.
Where's my
Okay. Apparently,
knowledge keyboard when I need it?
When occult people speak of blood, they are more often speaking of bloodlines than they are race.
so like her actual family.
Quite possibly.
We did something to
Interesting.
be cursed to appear spiritually as horses.
Yay. I mean, I sure, all right, whatever. I don't want to upset you. Let's get going, and just sort of start wandering. Thanks for the info. He like holds up his hand, waving behind him.
Middle finger up.
No, he's just like bye, and then just starts walking out. Like, yeah.
And he will rapidly follow.
The
Very
faceted cat catches your eye and gives you a long blink on the way out. The others are all staring intently at B.
This is. See you later, little guy. Let's just wander on.
Nothing is stopping you.
I guess we get out of here.
You find your way out, and everything goes a bit woobly again. And you wake up in the bookshop with a very bored-looking Tulip.
Yep.
And feeling very hungry. Holy shit.
Okay.
I fucking called it. Also, Tulip's totally been reading something this entire time.
Oh yeah. No,
we get the
the
impression-
bookkeeper will let you browse. He has an arrangement.
Did we get the impression that the cats that were in this room were not actually like cats in the traditional sense, but like could be molded to any familiar type?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be an unreasonable thing to believe.
Or maybe this is like the coven of the cats, and then there's like other covens of different animals.
Was Mum's familiar randomly geometric, or was his Mum's familiar randomly geometric?
Like IRL?
Yeah.
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe it was a after death thing. This is a way of expressing that the familiar's master has passed on, so it becomes
Sure.
it loses its polygons.
It becomes deep fried and compressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't need to go on to the real world anymore, so they just reduce it to reduce the processing load.
They just really let themselves go.
Okay.
When we all wake up, Chris sort of look at B and be like, sorry about that.
She shakes her head to rid herself of some of the haziness, and she says, "It's all right. That was a little unexpected and less pleasant than I thought it would. Than I expected.
Honestly, it was less useful than I was hoping it to be." Looks
Oh.
at the ring on his finger. Fuck is going on with this? And he also looks back at Beard. It's like, so, any idea why they might particularly dislike your bloodline? That's probably what they're talking about. Like,
Do I have any inkling based on what I knew of my parents.
Roll me something relevant at your discretion.
More farming.
What about recall? Isn't it just a recall
'cause they-
knowledge check?
It's because they spent so much time around horses that it kind of seeped into the bloodline.
Like, is it just a recall knowledge check?
Well, it's recall knowledge about your own history.
Oh.
Is that an int check?
Oh, fuck. I didn't mean ignore that. I didn't mean hit that.
Your great grandfather was just a little too friendly with one of his mares.
All right, look.
Animal husbandry, am I right?
No, this is not a
Oh
question.
my fucking god!
Okay, let's see. See, mom was a monk. Dad was a cleric. It would either be, I would
Like,
say,
Religion?
religion. Either religion or nature.
Could you argue nature?
To examine herself more than her family. I guess if it's bloodline, I'll go more for nature, religion.
Sure.
Whoa.
Your dad and Chris's mum argued a lot. Not in, like, they weren't, like, bitter enemies or anything, but they definitely had very different worldviews.
Okay.
And if it weren't for the rest of their party,
probably would not have stuck together.
They probably wouldn't have stuck together, but as a whole, it kind of worked out, and they were greater than the sum of their parts.
I see.
But whenever that argument started getting particularly heated, you were all quickly ushered away into another room.
Okay, so I don't have much of an idea of what that might have been about.
Not in any specifics, just that it wasn't necessarily bad blood, but there was disagreement. Yeah.
Right. Okay. She will she'll say that kind of thing, and she says, "I'm not sure what it might have been, but maybe there's something deeper behind that. Like, I don't know what causes people to look different when they're in that space."
No, nor do I actually.
Yeah. But I guess it's probably something to do with that.
All right, whatever then. Fine.
She looks down at her hands. It's really weird to have hooves.
Yeah, and a tail.
Yeah.
It's kind of slightly weird to, like, splay your fingers now.
She'll do that thing like where I don't remember what cartoon this is from, but like, I have hands. Just open and close them and stare at them.
They call them fingers, but you never see them fing.
It's true.
What?
That was a Simpsons line from when Homer has eye surgery and has to go on medical marijuana to control the pain.
But yeah, she'll look up from her hands, look at Tulip with the curled up with a good book, and said, I hope you weren't waiting too long."
Meh. I got lost in this book.
Doesn't it come with directions, like a table of contents?
Glossary.
Tulip will close the book indignantly.
Bee will giggle.
Dear.
Shit. Can't have fucking shit in Detroit. No, it isn't Detroit. God damn it.
Can't have shit in this family.
I can't.
Oh my god.
So Tulip will ask what happened.
We met some picky owls and birds and stuff, and I asked them about this ring. He holds up his hand. I didn't really get much of an answer beyond someone's doing bad shit, which I'd guessed anyway.
You're echoing.
Yeah, I know.
Is it me again?
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm gonna briefly close this.
That doesn't seem very helpful, but okay.
Alright,
It wasn't.
Why does everybody in this fucking country just speak in vagaries? Like, just tell us what the fuck's going on.
I mean, they said what they knew, which was not a lot.
Meh. Fine. What are we doing next then?
moving on, I guess. Heading towards Flaxfeld.
Hmm. Fair enough, I guess.
The day just keeps getting better and better. B is short-lived. Mirth fades away quickly, but she doesn't complain any further.
Hmm.
Looks around at everyone. Are we all ready to trek out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because I don't
B-
have anything else to do here.
B
And I
no.
wouldn't mind leaving resting bitch face behind.
That's not a nice way to talk about B.
Cardinal.
Wow. I was gonna say that's not a very nice way to talk about me, and the cardinal is actually the one saying that right behind Chris.
Summon Cardinal.
Okay.
Yep.
So you
I guess
pack
we
up,
head out.
gather your things from the inn where you've been staying,
Mm-hmm.
and we will go to the world map. And then I will scroll up because I was all the way at the bottom of it for some reason.
So was I. Weird. And we're
Uh,
heading to the west?
Yes. Pretty well trodden road, not likely to be a whole lot of danger. You
Mhm.
come to about here,
Mhm.
and riding towards you are a few guards, and they hail you and ask you to stop for a moment.
Coming from the town or away from the town?
Coming towards the town from the direction you're traveling to.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we
So
stop.
like this way,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
Howdy.
Hi.
Coming from the town, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do us a favor. Be on the lookout for anyone who has part of their body made of, like, rock.
Right.
Because
Okay.
there's been reports of people up to no good. So we've heard. And we're trying to keep an eye out for them.
Chris will take a look at all the people who just rode up to him. Can I perception to see if any of them are made of rock?
Sure. None of them are made of rock.
But he's not sure.
Oh
no,
no,
he's
he's very
goddamn certain.
he's
He's
very
very
sure.
sure they're not made of rock. Okay.
I rolled a 1. So whether I'm right or not, I'm pretty damn certain of it.
Okay.
Fair
That
enough.
seems like a very specific thing to warn us about, so we'll keep it in mind.
Well, I mean, obviously, if there's any other weirdos out here, keep an eye out. But specifically, I know it's a strange and specific thing, but we've had reports, so just please keep an eye out.
Will do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then
Yep.
they'll ride on past you.
Yep,
Chris,
have a
like,
good
just
day.
before they go, he'll be like, "Where did you just come? Where have you come from?"
Agaton.
All right, sure. That's quite a long way, isn't it? Like,
Couple of days.
Yeah, it's not. The country's not super large, so it's like reasonable travel.
sure. Okay.
And then yeah, they ride off, and you're free to continue on your way.
Okay. Will do.
B will look behind them as they get some distance between them, and she'll say, "Think that's more people like Mother Argyle then?"
I hope not. It could just be some weird, like, half elementals or something.
Maybe
Uh,
we just keep heading on and can deal with it if it comes.
How aware are we of Zigga's heritage? I'm assuming it's come up before.
Unless Ziggo is specifically trying to keep it secret, which I don't believe he is, then you will probably
No.
know.
Okay, so then she kind of gestures in Zigga's general direction and says, I think usually elemental heritage presents not super obviously, certainly not people made of rock."
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty subtle. You wouldn't necessarily know unless, you know,
You take a sniff and it's earthy.
yeah.
I mean, I guess. I
Catch them
mean,
eating dirt.
it could be just like actual elementals that are like people a little bit. I don't know. I hope
Right.
it's not more Mother Argyles. That was grim.
Yeah, well, I agree with you there.
I mean,
Okay.
guess we
let's
wander on.
just keep going.
You continue on your way. Okay. You reach the crossroads quite well, not quite quickly, but quite uneventfully. And as you do so, we will come to.
Looking down the path towards Flaxfeld, does
Yeah.
it look like this road has been taken at any point recently?
Bear with me on that. I just realised I haven't imported one of the maps I needed because I'm a moron. Da, 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 da. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves so this is slightly less awkward.
Waffle, 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 waffle.
Good.
I just realized that counteracting is very difficult with a scroll.
What is
how do you
very
mean?
difficult?
Counteract checks are based on spell level if you are using a spell to counteract. So remove paralysis can only counteract things that are level 1. That may not, even though normally spells will scale with you for the scrolls. That I may ask you to retcon that by, if that's the case, because I think it's already irrelevant.
That's fine by me.
Well, the restoration still works properly. It's not actually a counteract check. Oh, I am subtracting a lot of spells very quickly.
You need to read the fine print better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. We fed one to
Yeah,
Tabby.
briefly AFK. Get my kiddo cereal.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. I mean that's probably a good thing because Dispel Magic has the same issues. So.
Yeah, now I can just cast it. Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
That seems like an actually pretty powerful thing. Just like my familiar eats the scroll, lol.
Yeah. Is there a copy cost? So that actually might be the case.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why does it work like that?
Learn a spell restoration activity.
Why are they huge? Be normal sized. Jesus.
That's concerning.
There is technically a small cost to learning a spell. It is half the cost of the scroll, so 6 GP. So I think
Is
it's
it?
not. Yeah, it's called the learn a spell action. You spend 1 hour per level of the spell. You have. Oh, you can learn it by talking to someone who knows the spell, or have magical writing in your possession. In this case, that's the scroll. Oh, so you can learn a spell just by talking to someone?
They need to be willing to talk to you about it, but yes.
Yeah, right. No, I know. Interesting.
Okay. You come to the crossroads.
So I need to spend another 6 gold, I assume?
Yes, I believe so.
Sure, we'll do.
Anywho,
Oh, this
is
is
this
interesting.
part? Is this the part where B gets left behind at the crossroads? All right, now she's coming along. Oh, are those people we see?
Yes.
Oh, this is at the crossroads,
This
right?
is
Like
at
there's
the
an inn.
crossroads.
Okay, there's an inn here then, I guess.
Yes. This inn is not familiar to any of you.
Must have sprung up. But why though? This is like, Is this okay? So can I make like a? I'm gonna be terrible at this, but can I or someone else make a society check to know if this is a reasonable distance to have an inn? I'm guessing it probably is. Um, it's just weird that there wasn't one before. If that was the case.
You can make a check.
Okay, let me do that.
Well, if it's reasonable to have an inn here.
Yeah, within this travel distance, I guess.
Okay, that time.
B, you don't know why people wouldn't just camp.
That's true.
This seems like a perfectly reasonable place to camp. Chris, this seems like a reasonable place for an inn. It's about a day's travel from each city.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We've talked about this before.
Mag asked a thing, and I don't know if he's back yet.
I'm back.
Hello.
There we go.
Is Amber here as well, just to make sure?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool, okay. So you come up to the crossroads, and as you come around the slight corner that is off screen, around the edge of the trees there, you see that there is a pub, a tavern that is very unfamiliar. It certainly wasn't here last time you were in the area, though that may have been quite a while ago. And coming towards you are three ordinary-looking, if very tired-looking, people dressed up as if they were traveling normally between the two cities. You've seen it a million times before.
Sure.
And one of them approaches you in a kind of a, you know, that awkward way that people might ask you in a shop to get something down from a high shelf. It's like, oh, maybe not for Amber, but for everyone else.
Hey, you know what?
And they say, "Excuse me, do you know if there's anywhere to stay around here?"
You will look at them, and then look about 3 feet to the left, and say, "Well, I mean, this looks like a pretty good place to camp out, I guess." But points in the direction of the building. Is that not?
I mean, I guess we could, but we don't really want to camp if we can help it. It's gonna rain tonight.
She looks towards the others. She's like looks in both directions as if checking her sanity, and she says in a kind of a lower voice, "Do you see that building there?"
Yeah, we can see the building.
Chris, like straight face. No.
Should we just ask them why they don't want to stay in the building? Or can I roll perception to see if like anything's up? Like,
You can roll perception.
this feels sus. Like you're gonna tell me like everything seems fine even if I roll a fucking 50, but like this is so sus.
Oh my god.
No, it's fucking weird that they're acting like this. Because that's a building, and it's got light coming out of it, and the light is washing over them.
B is going to do a thing. So she's gonna be like, well, I mean, she like kind of holds her hand up to her eyes as it and looks up to the sky as if like looking at the weather, and she starts walking towards. If this building were not here, this would be a clearing, right?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Okay, and she just kind of walks in this direction, and she says, "Well, I mean, you've got this open space. We've got some. We've been camping out in the rain before, and we have some gear for that." And she kind of like spreads her arms in a sort of like look at all this free space thing, and she surreptitiously tries to pass it through the wall of the building.
Roll me a fort save.
Oh, okay. That is not quite what I was expecting, but sure.
You bang your arm on the corner of the building. And
Ow.
And it kind of hurts. And one of the others in the group of travelers is like, "Careful, there's a tree there."
A tree.
Well, in a manner,
that's what we call it where I come from.
in a manner of speaking, I guess that is a tree, because this is a wooden building, right?
This is a wooden building, yes.
Tom,
Yes.
can I cast Detect Magic, please?
Yes.
Is this thing fucking magic?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a way to like? Actually, no. I don't really care about disillusioning these people. Just can sort of wander forward. Like, so, did you come from Agaton?
Yeah, it's been a real long trek. I mean, the road's pretty good, but we're not used to it, you know?
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, he looks up at the sky and is like, do you not have like a tent or something if you're looking to camp out?
Well, we do, but it's gonna rain and then it's gonna get all muddy, you know? You'd think they'd put a inn somewhere out here. You can make tons of money out here.
B says, like, hold on, just hold that thought. I'll go take a. I mean, we were about to stop anyway too, so I might as well take a look around, see if there's anywhere that might be better shelter from the rain, and I'll be back soon.
Okay, sure.
She kind of just waves to the others, winks in the direction of Ziga and Chris, out of view from the others.
I just imagine wave to the normal people, heavy stage wink to the party.
And if I circle around this way,
Mm-hmm.
can I see a door somewhere? Is it this one?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. And there are windows here, right? Like I can see that there's
Yep.
other guests inside.
Yep.
Do they look like normal people?
Perception?
Okay.
Can we see B right now?
No, there's a building in the way.
I don't know if the others can see me, but
I was gonna say, can the other people, do they look like they're tracking B, like even casually?
Well, it looked like they were for a bit, but then she went behind some stuff, and now they can't see her. Yeah, they look fucking normal. They're
okay.
chatting in their groups and drinking, and it's like the drink is going into their body rather than like dribbling down the front.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good sign. That's promising. Is there a door knocker or anything on this door, or does it look like I can just like it's a normal inn and I can just kind of go
Yeah,
in?
it's a normal inn. The normal etiquette would be to just go in, but close the door behind you because you're gonna let all the heat out.
Sure. So she will step inside first and gauge if there are any. Okay, yep.
This guy here is gonna look up at you and be like, "The fuck did you go around the back of the building for?"
Oh, I didn't see another. It's from here. Can I see another door that leads outside?
No, it's just that one, but people would have expected you to go that way. Like a normal, sane human being following the path.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, sorry. It just seemed like a shorter path at the moment. It's been a bit of a trip, so
I bet.
she rubs the back of her head and chuckles a little bit and steps forward and closes the door.
Yeah.
And she asks, actually, does the guy look like just a random guest, or does he?
Yeah, looks like a random guest.
Okay.
Probably a regular if he feels confident enough asking random
Yeah.
strangers in this pub, but he looks like a normal guy.
That's what I thought. Does this person look like? Well, she'll give him a little wave and then go in and see if she can. She'll probably wait here
Yeah.
for the person to be done with their current guest.
Yep, they will step over. So they are a female elf. You would guess
Okay.
around middle-aged for an elf, starting to show a few wrinkles and a streak of white in their hair.
Mm-hmm.
And as they move down the bar towards you, you hear them step thunk, step thunk, step thunk.
Like a peg leg.
Yes, very much like a peg leg.
Okay.
And they'll kind of lean on the bar a bit and be like, "You ready to go around the back?"
And she like nods her head and kind of like apologetically, and she says, yeah, it was. I happened to be on that side, and it just seemed. I wasn't sure where I couldn't see where the entrance was.
Right, but the room toilets drain out that way.
Oh. She looks down at her feet. Does she smell anything untoward right now?
Nothing sticking to you.
Okay. She says, "Oh, that's. Should I step outside and try to and check if anything is?"
I mean, you don't smell a shit, so you're probably fine. But go
Oh,
around the
oh.
front next time.
And she nods and she says, "That sounds perfectly reasonable to me."
Yeah.
And she says, "My name's B. What's yours? If you don't mind me asking."
My name's Lucy.
Nice to meet you, Lucy. And she leans forward a little bit and she asks, "So, is this in Glamored or something of the sort?"
Well, you got in, didn't you?
I did, but she kind of gestures in the direction of north. There's a couple people we ran into on the road who didn't seem to see it. That's why I was just curious.
Guess they don't fancy staying here.
Is that how it works? This is meant to, you only see it if you need it, kind of thing.
Well, you
Or
only see
want
it if you see it. And they didn't see it.
And she says, they were, this is, tell me if I'm being nosy, but they were looking for a place to stay. It seemed like they were pretty, um, worn out. Is it against the rules or something if to tell them that there's something here?
No, you can tell them. Where are you headed?
Based on that, we're going to Agerton. We came from, yeah.
Sure.
That actually, it just occurred to me that was.
A lie.
Well, I mean, it sort of is and sort of isn't, because we are headed to Agerton, but we're making a pit stop along the way. Is how she's kind of seeing it, but it is also not entirely truthful now that I'm actually thinking about it.
Lucy seems to take this at face value.
Sure, yeah. So if B realizes it, she doesn't say anything after the fact. And she says, "Okay, well, I do have some companions who are waiting outside. If you, I'll go bring them in then, if that's okay."
We've got rooms if you need them. It's getting late.
Sure. Then I'll be right back. She goes out and she goes at the front this time, and she closes the door behind her.
Cool.
What is happening to the rest of the party in the meantime?
Making small talk with people. While
Okay.
you said you were going to look around.
Tulips just stood there like a statue with her eyes closed, having that expression of like, I'm so fucking sick of this magic bullshit.
One of the travelers is gonna look between Zigger and Tulip and be like, "Is she okay?"
Yeah, she's just she's tired too.
Yeah. It's a long
I
trek
read-
either way, isn't it?
I
I
just
resting bitch face.
I just like reflecting on the fact that like we never encounter straightforward like a goblin camp or an owlbear attacks us or anything like that. It's always like this bizarre cabbage mancers and
I like the cabbage
I
mancer.
fucking love the cabbage monster. Yeah.
aberrant nuns that have bellies full of geodes and you know, like,
Actually, on second thought, before B goes all the way around and actually talks to them, she's just kind of covering her bases. While she's like over here around the corner, she's going to start casting Read Aura
Mm-hmm.
on these strangers. It's a bit far actually. Damn it! If only
Do you
I
want
had
to go down
reached.
Pooh Alley again so you can get close enough?
No, they specifically told me not to. So
Well, they told you
yeah.
not to so you wouldn't get poo all over your shoes.
I mean, Tom's telling you go down his poo alley, like.
Let's see. So, how about this? Would you say I can? So, read aura. has a 1 minute casting time.
Mhm.
Could I cast it for 9 rounds and then on the last round start walking towards them and finish it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do stealth.
let's do that. Okay, let's do that then.
Do
I will say it has been a day, so I have my halfling luck back if I need it. Okay, I don't
Okay.
think I need
Sure. Yeah. It's fine.
Okay. So I do.
So Aura gives you the school.
Yeah. I use it on the center person, I guess.
Sure. You get a tiny little bit of abjuration.
Okay, that is probably fine. She was more looking specifically out for like a stronger or well any kind of illusion rather.
Mm.
If they happen to be like she still doesn't know what the glamour is actually like what the criteria for not seeing it is. So she's just kind of be careful in case they were someone the inn is actually warded against or something.
Mm.
Anyway, seeing that, she's just gonna kind of shout out from behind so that she doesn't surprise them.
Oh, Jesus! How'd you get back there?
And she says, "I went around. You're not gonna believe this." And she has kind of a grin on her face, and she waves the others over as well. But I think I have something cool to show you,
Yeah.
and I think you might be happy to see it.
Okay.
Zigga will walk along past them, inviting them to join us if they want to.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. Whoop.
I am 100% ready for them to just look at B like she grew a third head when she does this. She's gonna walk up. Probably looks like trees, I imagine. She is going to open the door, and she's going to like kind of wait, like step aside a little bit so they can see inside, presumably, and then like spread her one arm wide and say "ta-da."
The light from inside washes over them in the kind of twilight, and they turn to look at Chris and Zigga like, the fuck?
Zigga's gonna say, do you not see it?
See what?
Go ahead and step forward past where B is indicating.
It's a tree. I can't. We're not going to sleep up a tree.
Just try it.
No.
Zigga will walk
Look.
up to the threshold and then cross over, and then turn around and look at them.
They're all looking at Chris in askance.
Imagine Zigga probably just looks like he walked towards a tree, took a step closer.
He's like, what did you just see Zigga do, by the way? What just happened
Who?
for you guys? The person who was just right there, and he points over to where Zigga just walked.
What, B? What, that lady? Sorry, because they haven't actually really been introduced.
Yeah.
No, never mind. You know what? I don't know. There's some weird shit going on here.
You know what? You're right, there is. I think we're just going to find somewhere to camp. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
Have fun, mate. Bye-bye.
And they go.
B is going to look after them, look at Chris, shrug, and say, "Well, their loss."
Yeah, sure. And I guess just
Or
walk
maybe
in.
that's the only thing that saved your life.
Yeah, Can I make a Arcana check to see if I have an inkling of how strong this glamour is? Because that seems like it was pretty strong.
Sure. That doesn't seem like a glamour at all.
Oh,
Glamours affect what you sense. They don't remove people from your memory.
Oh, okay. So, she's going to ask Chris about. Actually, does she still remember? Well, I mean, she can see through it, so I'm assuming she can remember the other two right now since they're inside.
Yeah.
Okay. While they're walking inside, B is going to nonchalantly kind of ask Chris if he knows of any Fae stuff that might be doing this.
Maybe, and then he'll just like think for a minute.
This feels very fey, yeah.
Feign.
Do
Yeah.
when when Zigga stepped through the threshold of the doorway, was Chris or B at all even remotely like briefly had a moment where they forgot Zigga?
Nope.
They were completely unaffected.
As if they could forget Zigga.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting flashbacks now. It's like Vietnam.
Of that time you forgot Zigga?
No, I think that wouldn't be as nearly as traumatizing.
Oh no.
I mean, I wouldn't remember it. Okay.
Is Tulip following the others in?
Yeah.
In.
Yeah,
In.
Caleb will follow them in.
Okay, let's bring you over.
We
Chris
may, not
follow
want,
wanders up to the bar.
we may not want to eat the food.
Lucy will nod to you and say, "What are you having?"
I don't know. Something. We've been walking a while. Something filling would be good.
Yeah, we can get you
Uh,
something.
Rooms
sure.
would also be a good start.
Yeah, we need somewhere to stay for the evening.
No worries. And after a few minutes, she'll get you some stew and some breads and some mugs of something murky and brown.
Sure.
Does she charge us for it?
Not currently, not yet.
Is that
Chris
you?
is-
Is that normal?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Normally, you get charged for services and goods.
Ahead
Right
of time. Like you have to
Yeah.
pay for them in advance.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris like looks at her and is like, "What's the cost of a room for the night and the food?"
Oh, don't worry about it.
I want to get charged.
She leans across the bar and says, "Let's just say you don't pay with money." Nah, I'm kidding you. Nah, I'm kidding. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Chris is like, "How long have you been here? Like the last time I came round, this place wasn't here."
Oh, only about, I don't know, 8 months or so.
Right. Okay.
She.
This is some bullshit.
What do you mean this is some bullshit? This is a perfectly legal and normal establishment.
Sir, if you have to clarify
Yeah.
that, I think this is some bullshit.
Well, you're welcome to sleep in the woods if you want.
I may.
Chris turns and looks at Tulip, turns back to the lady and is like, "I'm not."
I wouldn't either. It's going to rain tonight.
Oh, fuck it.
Gonna get
Okay,
all
How
wet.
does how does everyone know that?
Because it's getting
Do you
real
not-
cloudy.
Do you not have the weather predictor app on your phone?
No. What's a phone?
I think it's
I
a
don't know.
fancy wizard word for sound.
Oh. Yeah, that would make sense. They do make up a lot of words.
God, tell me about it.
Fuck's sake.
Okay, well, just so let's see. B sees that Chris is unconcerned despite his experience
I mean-
with Faye.
I mean, like, so I did roll Law Faye. Like, for this sort of thing, does it usually curse you or whatever? Like, what's the usual shtick?
If this
It's
is fair, and there is absolutely a cost.
Yeah, they're just not telling you. So you're essentially signing a blank check.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And Lucy'll lean on the bar again and be like, "Look, you're welcome at the Black and Blue anytime. We're not trying to pull one over on you. Just a nice place for you to stay."
And
What-
Chris gives her like a knowing look, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's nice, but I
I want to know the
thought
cost
a little
ahead
bit
of
about
time.
these things.
There isn't a cost.
How do you stay in business? You
Oh,
kinda
we're,
tilt her.
we're supported by the local economy.
Well, she explicitly said there isn't a cost, and I feel like that they can't actually explicitly lie, and the fact that she said there isn't a cost specifically makes it, I feel, a little bit safer. I
Hmm.
don't think they can lie like that.
Well, I think how it usually, I mean, this is out of character knowledge, but I think usually how it works is the less powerful Fae are less bound by that, and then the more powerful Fae are more bound by that kind of thing. So,
M-
she did do that thing where it's like, oh, there's like you just that you just don't pay with money. Ah, I'm just joking. That could have been a thing.
Right? Yeah. No. But like at first when she was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it," that was like just made me more worried about it. But like now
Sure,
she
yeah,
explicitly said there's no cost. Um,
that's true.
So Ziggy's guard is a little bit less down at this, or more up, but less down. Whatever. He's not
Less
pissed.
up, more down.
Yes. Yeah.
Could I
So
make a
he'll relax and he'll eat and get ready to go to sleep and
Yeah,
everything.
it's not like good food, but it fills you up. It
when
tastes fine.
Mm.
when
This is
she
fucking
said
Switzerland.
Sorry?
Jesus, it's what is this place? Switzerland. Everything is true neutral here. It's fucking Frankie.
What's the meme going around at this point? Like it's clearly not Finland or something like that because they'll feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's yeah, that oh god, I didn't realize that was a meme. I thought it was something that someone pulled out somewhere. One of my friends in a different Discord did that.
Is Tabit in this place?
Yeah?
She doesn't seem to give a shit.
Not really.
Okay,
Hmm.
well, one last gut check. When she said there's no cost, can I make a perception against a deception kind of thing?
Yes, you can.
See if she seems like she's telling the truth.
Yeah, you reckon she's telling the truth.
Okay, well, I mean, if the others aren't concerned at this point and Tabit doesn't look concerned, and I guess she's telling the truth, Fee will relax and have some of the food.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, more or less the same. Like if Tabit doesn't seem to give a shit, and like if my knowledge of these things suggests that yes, there is a cost, but it probably won't be like exorbitant.
Yeah,
Also,
probably not.
she said the name of the place, the Black and Blue.
Yes.
Have I heard of it? Like in my occult education or Fane education or whatever the heck?
Occult check, I guess.
Sure.
If you're looking at it from the occult education side of things.
Where are we? Boop. Oof.
You haven't heard of it as like an inn kind of thing, but like the idea of someone beating someone black and blue is that's an
Yeah,
idiom you're
yeah.
familiar with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we just stay the night then?
I guess so.
I guess.
Amber, have you seen the movie Spirited?
What?
Have you seen the movie Spirited Away?
Of course.
So you're familiar with what this looks like right at the beginning of the movie?
Oh no.
I have not seen Spirited Away, so
Oh no.
Ah.
Daddy has
Oh,
credit-
we're all
cash and
good. We're
credit
all
cards.
good.
Cash and credit cards.
This is what I'm being reminded of.
Oh no. Right. Okay.
should
I
watch
guess
it, by
we
the way.
stay the night.
okay. Yeah, the food is fine. The drink is a little bit gritty and warm, but fine. The rooms are quite worn, but fine, clean enough.
Sounds fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very neutral.
Acceptable.
acceptable. Absolutely acceptable. And you wake up in the morning, there's no masked figures, there's no umbilical cords, all of your limbs are still intact, Tabit's still there.
There's no roof.
There's a roof, there's a roof. There's no corpses of travelers outside or anything like that. It's fine.
Cool. Do we
Seems like,
get up to go get breakfast or?
Yeah, looks so.
Guess so.
Yeah, cool. Lucy's already up and looking a bit not quite awake yet, but stomping around, getting you some food.
Okay.
Most of the other patrons aren't there yet. I suppose I can delete them for the most part.
All the washroom signs.
That was the true cost. The souls of the innocent. They're also
Yeah.
in the inn.
Hey,
Definitely.
we didn't know them. That's fine by me. We got some
Yeah,
food in that
they
in
were
bed rest.
literally,
Pleased.
they were literally unlabeled, non-PC NPC characters.
Why is Tulip's morality the strongest in this group when she's the one murdering everything?
Oh, you see, like it's fine.
You murder things, but you feel bad about it.
Yeah, and all the rest of you are just like, I mean, just fuck it. She's a pregnant demon nun killer. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I was arguing for the not kill route.
Yeah, Zika was actively trying not to kill her until it became like,
And then you stabbed her in the throat. Yeah.
yeah, well, things change.
Like my opinion on nuns, stab.
Locations of daggers change.
Oh my god, the thing. Does it seem like it has rained outside?
Yes.
After all. Okay.
Not too bad. People were probably expecting it to be worse than it was, but the road's a little muddy, being mostly just compacted dirt, not really paved.
Okay.
But it's not too bad.
B is going to say, I'm going to take just a short walk before I eat, just to build up bit of an appetite.
Close the door on your way out. It's cold enough in here already.
Will do.
Thank you.
Is Tulip right there?
Yeah, of course Tulip's coming with B.
All right, let's go for a walk.
Okay.
Yeah, it smells like it rained last night. It's a bit muddy.
Sure. Does it look like we're at the same crossroads as we were before?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good. That's promising.
If we head south here, does that take us to Flaxfeld?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, once we eat breakfast, I don't see any reason to stick around. I guess we'll thank Lucy and yeah.
Until she
Head
gives
up.
us reason to stick around.
Yeah. She'll wish you luck on your journey and see you out.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we just leave? Question mark. That
The
was
seeds-
weird.
The seeds have been planted. I can tell. Yeah, let's after we have breakfast, we there's no other reason to stay. It's just a slightly unusual inn.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
Wonderful. It takes you about half a day of, once again, uneventful journeying to make it to Flaxfeld.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna drag you in on here, and then realise that I haven't done 2 of the sheets I meant to do, but that's fine.
By the way, Tom,
Yes.
while we were sat down eating in the main area, were people talking about normal stuff? Were people talking about stuff? Or did the patrons just not really say anything and they were just sort of there?
There was a bit of chatter. Not about anything particularly important.
Sure.
Crops and gossip and so-and-so's been shacking up with what's-her-face and the normal kind of crap.
Okay, so they were talking. We weren't just like, yeah, sure.
Being stared at ominously.
No.
I was
Every
it could have been like they are there but they aren't sort of thing. Like there's the noise of a tavern but they're not actually talking, if that makes sense. Like
Right.
Wait, hang on a fucking minute.
There are people here.
Wait a fucking minute.
As you round the corner of the forest there, the first thing that hits you is that the big fucking tree is gone. The second thing that hits you is there's a big graveyard where there used to be goats. And the
Why are
third thing that hits you is that there's fucking people here.
Why does it look like the place where we were born? Why four? Why?
Because it is. It's Flaxfeld.
It is. That's where we
That's
are.
where you are.
Oh my god.
Though I'm
Wow. Wow.
glad-
You've been you're really with it right now.
I'm glad
Amber.
that you recognise that as the place that it was, to be honest with you, because you were only there for half a session.
It was a
Thanks,
very
David.
memorable half a session.
You're welcome,
And
Amber.
all our parents died there.
This is a brilliant moment. It's like, why does it look like this place? Because that's where we've been talking about going for the past session and a half.
This place has stuck out of my memory far more than it has any right to.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like I was only there for half a session.
I don't remember what did the pulse or whatever it was. What effect did it have on inanimate objects?
Most inanimate objects, absolutely no effect. It made land fairly sterile, mostly by virtue of killing anything living in it, rather than like destroying the nutrients or whatever. But a bunch of church druids and such went around the region and refertilized it so that people could still live there.
Did it cause?
They didn't go around spunking on the ground. That's not what happened.
That is literally what happened in my mental. They just like
We know that's what you thought. We know that's what you thought.
Did it cause the decay or otherwise like destroy organic material like wooden structures?
No, as long as
Okay.
they weren't still alive. Like, you know how like you can like in like Indonesia or somewhere they make bridges out of living vines.
Sure, yeah.
Any of those would have gone. But if it's wood that's been cut down and
Okay.
is dead and has been dried out and worked, that's stayed intact.
Okay, interesting. But it also has been what, like 10, 11, 12 years kind of thing?
10 years-ish, yeah, give or take a
10
few
years,
months.
okay. Sure. So without the people here, they would have probably fallen into disrepair pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And B is going to say you're all seeing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm hoping the answer is no, and I'm sure B is too, but do any of these people look like people we may know? If we go a little closer.
Is that a perception check?
That
Tom?
is a perception check, yes.
Fuck.
We're in sync today again.
Yeah. Almost.
F.
Zigga?
Yep.
Zigga.
Hey.
To none of you do these look like familiar people.
Oh.
But the two people on that mat at the front, who appear to be sparring, one of them has what looks like a very dark glove on one hand, and the other's hobbling a little.
Oh.
What does that mean? Okay.
What's going on over here? I'm gonna watch them throw down. That's what I do.
Yeah. They're sparring with some blunt wooden swords.
Nice.
And they don't seem too bad at it. And at that distance where Tulip is, you can see that one of them is quite clearly does not have any flexure in their left knee. And the other one's left hand is kind of fixed in a claw and looks very shiny and black.
Okay.
Automail.
No, this is obsidian body parts that we were warned about.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, that also makes sense. Oh god.
Fuck.
Ah.
And they kind of acknowledge Tulip's presence, but go about it. They don't
She'll
mind.
nod back, yeah. Unless Tulip can call dibs on the next match.
The one with the claw handle, we're like, yeah, alright, if you want.
Cool.
Zigga's going to step into the cemetery. I'm still paying attention, but I'm looking at headstones.
Yeah.
Sure.
I will be RB again.
Okay. perception from Zigger?
Just can you use the last one?
I can, yes.
Yeah, I'll just use that one.
Sure. There are familiar names on the headstones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
There are more headstones than would be appropriate for what we were thinking. So I'm curious, like, is it look like it looked like there were the original headstones of probably our parents and the wizard, I don't remember his name. And
Angstrom.
then later Angstrom, and then later on more people got added.
All of the dates of death are the same.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Well, then I'll look at the ones that are not of our parents, assuming that these are our parents' headstones.
yes. It takes you a little while to think, but some of the names are starting to sound a bit familiar. They're probably other people who were in the area, in other farmsteads.
Gotcha. Okay, so just like local farmsteads that are not towns, but they're like,
Yeah,
present.
their remains were likely brought here as the local area to organize things, and then
Okay.
put to rest in a communal grave.
Zigga doesn't find
gravestone.
our headstones, does he?
No, no.
Okay. Pay his respects to his parents and come back out here to, watch whatever was about to happen with Tulip.
While he's doing that, and since Tulip's not back, that looks like a stump with crystals growing out of it.
It is.
And that was like a full nice tree
That
before,
was
right?
a big ass over 100-year-old oak tree before, yes.
And if she steps over here, do I see something similar here, except they're like little crystals growing out of the ground, I guess?
Yes.
That was Zigga's house, right?
Probably. You probably remember that better than I do.
This
I'm
one
pretty
is my
sure that
house.
this was Zigga's house. I'm almost certain.
This is my house. 'Cause I know my room was over here. I had my argument with Dad over here.
Yeah, we were watching through the window here. Lol.
And I think was this I remember there was a stable like in this area. I don't remember if it's supposed to be here or
The stable was down here because I had to try and get
Oh, was
Tabit
it?
out of
I
it.
thought the stable was like right here.
The stable was here.
Oh, okay,
Here?
I had to try and get Tabit out of it.
Oh, okay, here, yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's why I remember correctly then. And then there was like another set of fields down here or something past or something like that. Okay. Well, this is very unnerving.
So how are these flowers? Or I should say flowers. How are these crystals growing? Are they like planted like flowers? Are they growing out of the ground, or are
Yeah,
they just like
it kind
they're
of just
decorative?
looks like there's crystals coming out of the fucking ground.
Okay, like they're being cultivated though.
Yeah, but either cultivated or decoratively placed.
Okay.
Mhm. What about these folk?
Oh,
they-
they're just going about their day, doing some work of some kind.
They're not standing in place; they're moving, but
No.
they're just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not animating all of the 12 odd townsfolk that we have on here.
Right. I mean, but they are going like they're moving around the courtyard, doing things and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Do they have obvious non-moving parts like the other two individuals we saw before?
One of them has like a section of the side of their head is black, and the bit that covers their scalp does not have any hair growing on it. And the
Okay.
other is just walking a bit stiffly.
Okay, got it. Was this well here before, right beside the tree?
It was just not visible because the tree.
Okay, got it, sure.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the gentleman that's walking stiffly. I'm gonna designate it as this person right here.
Sure.
Hi. Can I ask you a couple questions about the town?
Yeah, go for it.
So, we were the original inhabitants of Flaxfeld a decade ago,
Really?
and we just came into town to pay our respects to our parents who perished, and we weren't expecting to see anybody here. I was just gonna ask a couple of questions, like, are all the old houses like our former childhood houses, are they occupied now?
Well, yeah, they've got like 6 or 7 people living in each of them.
Would it be possible to go inside and reminisce a little bit? And
Well, you'd have to ask
And-
them, really.
okay, I mean, do you mind telling us like when did y'all come here? Did y'all all
Oh,
come here roughly the same time, or have y'all come in over time?
nah, people trickle in like you folks did. Uh,
Okay.
I reckon. Well, first one here was Master Garrett. He's been here for probably, I don't know, 10 months.
Oh, so y'all are relatively recent.
Oh, fairly recent. Yeah, we fixed up the place pretty good. I mean, to your liking, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, certain things are different. Obviously the graveyard wasn't there before. There used to be a stable over where y'all have the sparring area, but everything looks similar. Um, the the tree is missing. He'll gesture up towards the crystal.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
figured there was probably a real nice tree there, but I mean, needs must.
what? What do you say?
Ne-
Needs must.
Needs must. I guess people needed the wood.
Okay. Um, what's the deal with the crystal?
So it's crystal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just unusual looking.
Can
Like he's
I,
gonna play like he
while
doesn't.
he's
Doesn't
talking,
see it.
Chris will wander over to the tree. Can I roll to try and identify what it actually is?
Yes.
What should I roll?
I think
Crafting,
an easier
nature.
check may be like, is it the same as what we saw in Mother Argyle? That may be an easier first start.
Roll
mean-
what you think is appropriate, and I will give you an answer that is appropriate.
But yeah, so he basically asked the guy what was the deal with the crystal.
What? I mean, you guys don't know? You got here.
No, we don't know.
Oh
Uh,
fuck! I just made a connection.
Chris, that crystal looks like a natural outcropping of the stuff you got from Mother Argyle.
Sure.
And our stiff fellow is looking at you a bit weird. Like, I mean, we don't go around showing it off, but everyone who gets here knows.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean we're somewhat familiar with it. It looks like most of the folks in town have some sort of appendage that's been affected.
Wow, maybe not appendage, but something. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out what this conversation has quickly turned to the point where I'm a little worried to continue asking certain questions without
actually,
blowing a cover.
While I'm over stood by the tree, are there any flakes of it that have like fallen to the floor?
No.
No.
No, there are no flakes of it that have really fallen. It looks, in fact, remarkably intact. And the center bit of it there looks quite flat. It looks like someone could probably stand there without like risking impaling themselves.
Can I cast detect magic?
Yes.
Is it magic?
Kinda, yeah.
So on the subject of the crystal, what's your story with it?
Wow.
How did you?
I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I was taking a call from nature at the time. So it just kind of grazed me back.
Mm.
Gotcha. And it just grew on you.
Well, you know how it is.
B nods.
B does not know how it is.
Yeah.
I think B is getting an inkling of how it is because they've seen the result of it up close. They just didn't know how it happened. Now B is wondering if that one from Mother Argyle is more ritualistic, but
Yeah,
okay.
I'm kind of curious. If you don't mind me asking, and I know it's probably personal for each person, but what's the story of that that I'm gonna say woman, that woman over there. He'll gesture to the person that has half their skull like crystallified.
Oh, I don't know. I think they were just asleep when it happened, and it just touched them. You know, it stopped pretty
Yeah,
abrupt.
I wonder where it comes from.
He gives you a really like, what the fuck do you mean? Where does it come from? Look,
Well, like like how does it choose us?
I don't think it chose, mate. I think it happened.
Yeah, I think it just infects anybody that it touches. What if
Right.
what if
No, no, no.
Tulip
What
like
he's
pokes
trying
her
to get to
sword?
is like is he's trying to obviously the first step is to make sure we don't blow cover. But the second step underneath that is like trying to fish out some answers. Um,
Right.
and I'm trying to like figure out like obviously the crystal is like, but like how does it get to certain people? Like I mean this guy's taking a shit or whatever. Like is it like was it sitting in the porta potty or the equivalent of like the porta potty or whatever, the
Was
latrine, and
just
just like lashed out at him while he was taking a shit or whatever? Like I'm trying to figure that, like I don't understand. Like is it able to move and like deliberately infect people? I'm trying to like suss out details without blowing cover.
which one of these houses was Chris's? Sorry, is it this one on the left, on the right,
I
even?
think it was this one. The big one was the communal, like hall for things to do, and then each of the families had a smaller house.
Chris is gonna wander back over from where he's been by the tree. So, mate, you said that these houses are inhabited now, right?
Yeah.
I used to live in there, and he points at the house behind him. Can I go inside?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't take any of our stuff, you have a look
No,
around.
I haven't been here in a long time. I just want to, yeah.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
And he'll
Do
just
you know
sort
if
of
any of our
go round him into
possessions,
the house.
any of the possessions that were here before, are they still somewhere? Did they get moved somewhere? Did they get disposed of?
I don't know, mate. I've only been here like 3 months.
Mhm.
Okay, so we should probably speak to. You said Garrett was his name?
Yeah, Meister Garrett, you'll want to speak to.
You know where he is?
Oh, be in the big building.
Okay.
Uh, Chris,
Yeah.
the inside of the house looks very different. The basic layout of the rooms is about the same, but a couple of the walls, the interior walls, have been knocked through to make a bigger space, and the furnishings are all completely different.
As
Okay.
might be expected.
Fair enough. I mean, he'll wander around for a little bit and then just head back out again. Do I see anything weird while I'm in there? I'm not like rifling through, but perception check? Question mark.
Yeah, do me a perception. Cool. The place, it's hard to put a finger on exactly what bit of it gives you the feeling, apart from like the odd little like outcropping of the crystal that's ornamentally placed on a mantelpiece. But it just generally smells a bit more occult than a normal residence would. Which probably isn't that surprising, but maybe
Something smells afoot.
a nice confirmation of suspicions.
And also, assuming no one else is in here while he's away from this bloke, like presumably he can't be heard in here, he'll sort of look down at Tabit if she's there.
And she'll look up at you.
Do you know what's going on?
High strangeness.
High strange.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like, I assume I should avoid touching the giant crystal tree at this point.
Probably for the best.
To check on what's happened canonically, we have picked up some of that. Did anyone touch it directly with their skin exposed?
Chris probably did.
Me, while I was investigating it with the ritual. I get the impression that at some point I touch whatever it is to the tattoo.
Yeah, I'm really not really understanding why in multiple instances now where people have been affected that we've never been affected.
It sounds like it has to actually break the skin and probably get introduced to your like past the skin barrier. But I mean, it also sounds like it's pretty slow as a process. So, if
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
sure, B is gonna walk up behind Ziga and say
Stab him right in the kidney.
with one of the crystals. Yep,
Yeah.
she's part of
I
the.
have,
He's been part of the cult the entire time.
I have an AC of 21. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well,
I have-
I have a fuck
I have
you
the-
of 25. So
I have
there you
denied
go.
advantage, so you can't catch me flat-footed. I saw you
So-
coming the whole campaign.
So B will ask. She's been kind of like looking around, kind of half listening to the conversation. She asks, "Are you gonna go talk to Master Garrett over there?"
Yeah, I think we probably should. At the very
Sure.
least, let them know we're in town.
And she'll nod, and she'll say, I'll probably wander around a little bit more, maybe talk to some of the folks a bit. I think Chris is around there too, if you want to bring him along."
So, out of character,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to get the impression that this place is the equivalent of like a leper colony. Like people come when they've been infected and they just kind of all migrate their way here, and uh,
Yeah.
that it's somehow like warded so that people can't, like, the inn is the start, and everything south of the inn basically is invisible to people that are not affected by the crystal, and we're somehow able to see it.
Fuck. Innkeeper lady has crystal leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. She had the crystal
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah. Okay.
Tulip.
Yep.
They have finished their sparring, and
Alright.
our fella down the bottom here is looking about ready for another bout.
All right, square up. Tulip will use her fists.
Oh god, no. He's like, no, you start over in that corner.
Wow.
Come on now, let's play fair here.
Well, I thought, you know what? Let's just go.
Bare knuckle?
Bare knuckle.
Okay.
Oh, how to introduce this to your bloodstream 101.
Have a fisticuffs
Are we
brawl
ready
with.
to roll initiative.
Oh yeah, this is a fight. You're doing a fight.
While this is going on, if he's not being watched, Chris will try and mage hand like a small piece of crystal off the tree thing.
It is very well attached.
Yeah, it's
Can
Well,
I
as
not
long
like
as
break off
we-
a tiny little sliver of it with it?
probably
Well,
quite
I was
thick.
okay. I
We
was
apply,
wanting to
like,
see what would
5
happen if
pounds
Tulip
of
like
pressure.
touched her sword to it, but
That can also happen.
Woof.
Yeah, well, you rolled a 20.
Yeah.
that sticks. All right, what do I do?
Right. He is gonna step
You
up
take a punch.
to there and quote unquote raise his shield, by which I mean boxing defensive
up.
position.
Sure.
Alright. Okay, I don't know how far I'm allowed to go here since there's not tiles, but I guess Tulip will go like here. Is
Okay.
that allowed?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I swing or no?
You can swing twice. You have normal amount of actions. Unarmed
how do
though,
I-
not with your sword.
Oh,
Go
God,
for the
how do I do
gut.
unarmed? How do I do unarmed? I'm scared.
Do you have unarmed on your sheet? Probably not, because you
No.
rightfully normally would expect to only use your sword.
No, there's unarmed fist melee strikes. It's right there.
Yeah, but it's unmodified, so it's.
I mean, I've got a blank thing here. I could try and. I don't know.
I think you just make an attack roll with your sword, and if you hit, it's just 1 plus strength mod.
Is it not 1d6 plus strength non-lethal?
I don't know that unarmed.
This is unarmed fist on the thing.
I don't have that. I only have kill options, not.
Yeah,
not options.
Tulip's normal attack is a weapon. So yes, 1d4 plus strength.
Okay.
So yeah, if you roll your attack for your sword, I guess, and then
Okay.
roll 1d4 plus 4, 3, 4? 4.
Yeah, 1d4. Okay, yeah. No, that's it, yeah.
You hit.
Okay, and then what do I roll?
1d4 plus 4. Cool. Numbers. You can attack again if you wish.
Oh, okay.
Trick number 2.
Beans.
That's gotta miss.
That will miss, yes. Yeah, you get a good right hook in on his stomach, on his kidneys, but he holds his guard.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna BRB for just a moment.
Sure.
Okay.
Bisect him with your fists.
Yeah, karate chop.
do the knife hand.
The knife.
The anime knife hand.
Yeah,
Do a Naruto run around first, and then build some momentum.
He misses you, I think, with that. With a 13 to hit.
Oh, is that against my AC?
Yes.
Okay, I have 19, yeah.
And then misses.
That's astounding considering how big Tulip is.
And then misses. It's hitting you, but it's glancing off.
He's just punching me in the titties.
Pretty
not realizing
much.
they're actually pecs.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was like, no, that's all muscles. Alright, do I swing at him again?
Yeah, go again. That'll hit for however much damage you now need to roll. I was going to say 13, but it's not.
Bisecting around some damage.
Yes.
Come on, why am I bad? Roll 1d. What the fuck? Why am I bad at this? Nobody
No.
answer that.
D4
Please.
plus 4.
That should be right. There we go.
Hey, cool. Yes. Another good hit. His guard is starting to waver a little.
Alright, and then hit
Do the
2.
Dempsey roll.
Oh
Do the
my
Dempsey roll.
god!
That
Jesus
will
Christ.
hit.
Do the Dempsey roll.
Oh no!
Did they hit you back?
Nope.
Did they try?
Yep.
Yep.
Is this guy with the claw hand?
Yes.
Or is it okay? Is he punching with his claw hand?
Yes, he is.
Tulip's wearing armor, but hopefully
Well,
it's fine.
he's punching like someone who boxes would punch, which occasionally involves the offhand.
Yeah.
You have another if you wish.
Okay.
That will miss.
Alright.
He wouldn't have any reason to think that it would have any sort of negative effects on Tulip because she's already infected, right?
Quote unquote, yeah.
Quote unquote.
I mean, it could still introduce it to a different part of the body potentially.
How much damage do I take?
Does a 17 hit you?
No, I have 19.
Then you do not take any damage.
Oh no. should Tulip just ask
You
this
are
guy, like,
you are
okay?
beating the shit out of this guy, and he's sweating. He is like, oh Jesus Christ, what have I signed myself up for here?
Tulip will just ask him, do you want to stop?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Christ, you're really good.
Thanks. She'll help him like sit down on the bench.
Yeah. He's gonna sit down and like caress his stomach a little because he had a good guard up on his head, and you were just going to town on the middle.
I'm sorry.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm used to, not
People that
wasting
don't
any
punch.
swings. I'm not used to pulling my punches, I guess is what I'm saying.
No kidding, Jesus. And you can see that the mat is fairly bloodstained. Like,
Yeah.
people do get at least moderately injured here. So it's not exactly surprising or taboo or anything, but this guy is fucking shook with how poorly that went for him.
Does the other guy want to fight?
No.
No.
No, the other guy's like, Jesus, they're gonna be a good one. I'm glad they're on our side.
The answer is
For
no.
now.
No.
Alright, cool. I think Tulip will, thank these guys for the bout and then probably go over to her old house to have PTSD,
Yeah.
Good old PTSD.
The T in PTSD stands for tulip.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic
Tulip
stress
smashing
disorder.
syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever it is. Smashing disorder.
Yeah.
Stan's got it too.
Please, Tulips, stop damaging.
Please, tulip, stop damaging.
Too late for that guy already.
Oh no.
With regards to the whole PTSD thing, I get the impression that Chris would be having a lot more of it if it weren't for the fact that everything is fucking bizarre.
Mm.
It's
Chris
kind
is
of
just
back
dead
of his
inside.
head going on at the moment. He's like, yes, I mean, I'm in the place where my parents all died and everything was horrible. But on the other hand, why is there a tree of crystal and why is everyone made of it? Like,
Yes. So as Tulip comes from her world-ending bout of boxing, and Chris is inspecting the crystal, and Zigga and B are kind of milling about, being worried.
Yeah, actually, before she knocks on the door, can Tulip like come over here and poke her sword at the like not the big crystal, but just like the leavings around the trunk? I just want to see if it reacts to metal at all.
There aren't any leavings around the trunk. It's like a multi. I don't know what the word is. It's a single crystal with multiple
Okay.
like growths, just affixed or growing
So
out
it's-
of the top of the stump.
So it's self-terminating. Okay, that's fair. Can Tulip like kind of walk up here and just very dryly look at Chris and be like, "Hey, Chris, have you seen my sword?" and gently knock it against the crystal, just looking like a dummy, but not actively malicious.
Yeah. There you go. Ting.
Cool. Does anything happen?
You get a look from stiff back guy. This fella,
Sorry.
like, don't do that.
Sorry, I was showing my big brother my sword. He hasn't seen it today.
Today.
Oh no. Adopted
Chris
bro, have you
turns-
seen my sword?
Chris turns to look at Tulip with just incredulity on his face. And it's like, why are you showing me the bisector, Tulip?
She's just gonna like look over at the crystal very briefly and then back to him and just be like, "Because the bisector wanted to see you."
Great.
Sounds ominous.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Stiff back guy is gonna turn to Zigga and be like, mate, is she like a complete fucking psycho, or
She's, she just has issues. Like we all do, right?
You know, Tulip probably has elven ears, right? She's half elven.
mm-hmm.
She could probably hear this shit.
You hear with your elf ears.
They're like 10
Yes.
foot away. Of course you can hear them.
Look, mate, we don't want any trouble around here. Like, if she's gonna start causing trouble with that sword of hers,
I'm not gonna start causing trouble. I'm just an idiot, okay? Fuck.
okay,
hold on.
jeez.
Let's go. Now we're all here. Let's go see Master Garrett.
Oh yeah, I guess we should probably be together for that, shouldn't we?
Well, as you approach the building,
Oh.
Another figure bursts forth from the doorway and walks.
This guy's, yeah, there he goes. He has a model.
This cunt.
This cunt. I don't know why you're saying this cunt because you've never seen him before.
Because he looks like a cunt.
He marches with a purpose, swerves around Chris, and stands up on the crystal. In the bit in the middle.
There's a flat part there.
There's a flat part there. And he firmly wraps a metal cane against one of the thicker outcroppings. And you notice everyone puts down their tools and comes over.
Oh, good. Resident Evil 4 shit. Love it.
I don't know what that means.
Well, all of the villagers in Resident Evil 4 are infected with parasites, so when the cult leader calls them, they all kind of come shuffling over.
Oh, they're not. I mean, they're shuffling over with like intent and sapience. It's not. They're not zombies. They do all appear to be differently abled in some way.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm getting the impression that like these people are not like Mother Argyle was of dubious maliciousness. I don't know what her overall level of malice was, but like these people don't appear to be malicious at all. Like it seems more like they've been almost like the church is probably going to try to persecute them if they haven't already, and they've just kind of retreated into a. But the real question is, how did they retreat into this sort of like glamour warded leper colony is what I'm calling it.
I have a question. When this gentleman went onto the crystal and he was walking from the house over there,
Hmm.
did he show any signs of having trouble moving anywhere?
Not at all, but in fact, his particular affliction is quite visible.
On his
Okay.
face.
It is on his face. In fact, his mouth is crystalline in appearance.
Okay.
And
Just doing a
go on.
quick. I apologize for keep interrupting, but like doing a quick look around the assembled people.
Mhm.
Are there anybody that have duplicate exact body sections of like, or is a different body section on every single person?
None of them are identical, but extremities seem common to various degrees.
Okay,
Some people have like a couple of fingers. Some people have the whole fucking arm.
gotcha.
There's overlap.
Yes.
Yeah, there's overlap. Okay. I just didn't. I was curious if like there was no two people with the exact same section of body
Mm.
that was covered to the point where like there's an entire body of crystal between
Like
the
they
lot of them.
Like they could
We're
Voltron together to form one
we're
complete
growing a
crystal man.
Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's quite a bit of overlap between them.
Okay.
And this new fella, dressed fairly ornately and with a lovely hat and his crystal mouth. Well, that crystal mouth, it cracks open in what seems to be a very uncomfortable way. And he starts giving what sounds like quite the sermon. And he's talking about how the church has lied to them all, how the church would never let this happen if it had actual power. You have all been let down. And what's worse is that the afterlife you were promised, the peace, does not exist. This is all you have. This is all you have, and we must work together to make it as good as we can. And he is banging his cane up and down on the crystal, and it's tinking each time. And as he speaks with force, you can see almost black ichor dribbling down from the cracks in his lips. And they are everyone is listening with rapt attention.
It's interesting that the mouthiest guy here would specifically have fucking literally an obsidian mouth. Great. Cool. Love it. Love it. This guy is on all the R atheist shit. Are any of the people doing anything weird, Tom?
There's a bit of a gospel call and response thing going on, which, depending on your opinion, may be a little weird.
While he's doing this, while he's giving his sermon, I assume he's like 10, 15 minutes or something.
Oh yeah, he's going on a bit.
Can I have Tabit go inside the building and have a look around?
Yeah?
Because I have share senses.
Yep, you can.
So if while he's doing that, Chris will like find somewhere to sit down and just
Mhm.
sort of sit, and have Tabit go inside the building and have it. Like, it's a cat. What do they care, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
she goes and takes a look.
His eyes glaze over. Did the sermon.
He'll sort of say to Zigger, "Don't let me fall over," like quietly, and he'll sit on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, Ziggo will come and like subtly prop you up, make sure
Yep.
you don't fall over.
Yep.
The inside of the main hall looks actually very similar to how you remember it. It's basically one big room in there. There are more tables and benches than you remember, which makes sense because there are more people.
Mhm.
But at the head of it, there is a particularly large but not necessarily ornate chair. And in that chair is sitting an elderly gentleman who is looking directly at Tabit.
Okay. And the hall, there's not like a big office space somewhere that's like cordoned off.
No, not really. It's just one big meeting hall. It looks like it's kind of. It's got like there's tables on either side of the center line, and you can see directly down the hall to this guy's chair.
Okay, so if Tabit doesn't see it, if it just looks like a hall and there's nothing particularly weird going on, but there's the old bloke in there,
Mm-hmm.
then Chris is gonna like stop sharing senses and sort of shake himself, and then just like quietly get up and just walk inside. He'll like turn to Zig and be like, "Thanks, there's someone in
Mhm.
there," and he's just gonna get up and just walk into the building.
Okay. Zigga's going to just like move into the space that Chris currently was occupying previously, and just kind of draw attention from the fact that Chris is walking into the building,
Sure.
and just continue listening to the sermon, trying to get like picking up on context clues of things that he's saying to try to piece together more information about what's going on here.
Sure. Bee and Tulip.
Eh.
I would say that B is not particularly likely to actually interrupt the sermon. She does, for I think clear reasons, view it skeptically. But she is. She also knows better than to get between a someone who's actively preaching and the flock that he's preaching to. So that's probably not a great idea. So she's just gonna stand there and listen.
Yeah, Tulip will pretty much do the same.
Sure. A lot of the sermon is very kind of sweat of our brow. We will make utopia here for ourselves. We don't need the church. We don't need the others. They're all liars. They're all evil. Well, you probably wouldn't go as far as to say evil, but it's kind of implied that they are othering them.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of curious if he goes into like a brief, we came here with a purpose, like, does he talk about the crystal at any point?
He doesn't talk about the crystal directly, but he does make reference to everyone being drawn here by their blessing.
Okay.
And it doesn't take a genius to kind of decode what that metaphor might mean.
Well, and something I'm curious about is has anybody either while we've been here or during the sermon looking away or looking down at the ground or anything like that seem like they're displeased at the fact that they're affected by the crystal? Like they're here begrudgingly, like it's like they have to be here because this is the only place they can safely be, but they're not happy about it.
Roll perception.
Okay.
You can't really tell one way or the other from this.
Okay.
They all certainly seem to be genuinely, like engaging with this sermon. But whether it's because this is their best option or because they truly internally believe it, you can't really tell.
Yeah, I'm just still trying to like gauge the parameters of what the hell's going on here.
Are there any young children here?
No.
Okay. Would it be accurate to say they're all at least like adults and like younger adults to older adults, or is there a more limited age range there?
There are two what you would guess to be mid to late teens.
Okay.
And they seem to be very lightly affected.
Okay.
And there's maybe one person who's like 60, apart from the old guy in the building. And he is also fairly lightly affected.
Okay.
Is there any other demographic difference? Like, are they all human, for example?
No, they are about what you would expect for the region.
Okay.
Majority human, demi-human, dwarf, elf, halfling, gnome, a few cat folk, like maybe one cat folk, maybe one of some other more exotic race, but mostly normalish demographics.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah. Again, I just keep listening. I think we probably should just skip to Chris and let Chris's
Sure.
interaction play out.
The old man in his chair is looking at you, Chris.
Chris will sort of wander in, just looking around, and then sort of wander over to Tabbit, and then like put her over the shoulders like she sometimes sits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hi, are you Mr. Garrett?
I am. It's rather rude to you to have left in the middle of Saint Chaucer's speech, but it doesn't appeal
He's
to
a-
everyone.
He's a saint. I didn't know. Sorry, didn't mean to cause offense.
Oh,
I-
it'll only offend him, I'm sure.
Sure. I mean, I lived here 10 years ago.
Yeah, so
This
I
this was
heard.
my home.
So I heard.
I'm more just here to see it than anything else.
Oh, you're
Like,
welcome to.
no-
You're welcome to look around. I would ask that you don't get in the way of our prosperity, but you are certainly welcome to reminisce.
Yeah, I mean, well, reminisce, try and not feel so terrible about what happened. You know, a bit of column A, bit of column B.
Yes, you
Um,
wouldn't be here if you weren't affected.
Oh, what by the thing in the sky? Yeah, I've been trying to figure out that what that was for. I don't know, my life.
There's
No
no
one will
peace
talk to
there,
you
is
about
there?
it. No one will talk to you about it.
No, they won't. They're afraid. They're afraid of what they don't understand.
I mean, them and everyone else. I mean, like, do you understand it?
Oh no, but I'm not afraid. And at this range, you can see quite clearly that his eyes are in fact glassy black spheres.
Sure. Okay, that's grim. He's just I guess he'll wander over and does the guy's gaze follow him while he's wandering about?
Yes.
Like,
He wasn't staring at Tabbit.
No,
He was staring
he's staring at Chris currently. Well, you think he's staring. You're pretty close to each other at this point.
yeah, I mean, Tabit's on his shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And so
No,
he'll.
no, I meant like he was staring at Tabbit
He
when she was.
was, yeah, previously.
When
Yeah.
when Tabbit was the only one in there, he was staring at Tabbit. When Chris entered, he was staring at Chris.
It's, I mean, is there any reason why you're not at the sermon?
Oh, I've heard his speeches before.
He looks outside. He looks outside and looks back to the guy, and it's like it seemed like so had everyone else.
Yes, but they enjoy it a little more than I do, I think.
Hmm. And he like gestures to his face and is like, so that doesn't stop you seeing? No offense meant, but
He taps his ear.
yeah. So you're just turning to look out of like politeness?
Habit more than anything.
Sure. All right. How did you all end up here?
Oh, we were all drawn here.
Yeah, but why? Why here?
You know, that's a very good question.
Because like this isn't any closer than God knows how many places to where it was. So yeah, what's going on? Do you know the answer to that question?
I have my suspicions.
Feel like sharing?
I think most were drawn by the good saint in the end.
What, the bloke yelling out there?
He has a certain charisma about him.
I suppose. Chris has like a look on his face. Like, yeah.
When everyone
Does he?
else would rather you be hidden away, being called by someone can be rather compelling, don't you think?
In a kind of sad way, I suppose. Yeah. Um,
How has it affected you?
in what way?
The
What do you
blessing.
mean?
How have you been blessed?
With a lack of self-preservation.
He
He says that completely off the cuff.
he gives a quiet chuckle, but then doesn't say anything, as if saying, "No, really, come on now."
Chris looks at him and is like, I don't know. I guess I don't particularly want to talk about it. Is that a problem?
No, most people who come here are rather shy at first.
I mean, can you blame them?
Not at all. It takes a while to realize that one is among family.
Chris's face goes very still and it's like, I'm sorry, mate. My family's in the graveyard. All of them. Barring the ones walking about out there.
Quite right. Barring the ones walking around outside.
And he's like very aware they've both taken very different meanings from that. It's like, yeah, anyway. Didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to have a look about.
Will you be staying with us at this time?
Don't know. It's not really my decision to make. I don't decide for all of us. The rest of them will probably want to talk to you at some point.
Oh, no,
Seems
welcome
like
to
you're
do
in
so.
charge around here.
As much as any of us are.
Hmm. Did you come here before the other bloke?
Oh yes, I've been here a very long time.
And you just... So, if you think the Saint pulled everyone here, then how come you ended up here?
Well, it was out of the way, and no one else wanted to come to this accursed place.
Bit of a wince at that description. Right. So you just pick somewhere.
Somewhere that was not a blank slate, and could be made livable.
And then the Saint came to you.
He came for the same reasons, I think. He saw somewhere that was amiable to a community and stayed to build one.
Right. Alright. Fair enough, mate. Chris will have wandered all the way around the table at this point, just looking around. Is there anything going on in the room apart from just the... Does he spot anything going on?
It looks like a large communal building, really. Just the kind of, like, imagine like a Viking long hall, but less Viking and more pastoral, I guess.
Yeah, I get you. It's just in case there's any weirdness going on.
Yeah, not really. A slightly crystal-heavy approach to decor, maybe.
Sure.
But fairly normal otherwise. There's not like gibbets or anything hanging around.
Right. I might leave you to it. I've got some more places I want to take a look at.
Of
Then
course.
we'll decide what we're doing.
Please
Thanks
do,
very much, mate.
Please do be considerate of the people living here as you go around. I'm sure they'll accommodate you.
They've been nice enough. I'm not really doing anything apart from looking, so
Of course.
hopefully it's not going to offend anyone.
I doubt it.
Catch you later. And he'll just sort of wander out again.
Until next time.
Bye. And yeah, comes back out. Is the bloke still talking when he comes out, or yelling?
He appears to be just about wrapping up. And, like, at this point, like, all of his chin is just covered in spittle and ichor. And it's kind of dribbling down his front a little. But he doesn't seem to care. He's very impassioned about it.
Does it go flying at all?
A little bit, yeah. Like, the crystal
we-
directly in front of him is a bit spattered.
I see. Okay, so we're not in the splash zone.
No.
Okay.
And as he wraps up, he pulls out a very oddly coloured handkerchief out of his pocket. It seems very stained, and dabs at his mouth a bit, and it doesn't really do a whole lot. but he tries anyway.
Crystal, if he actually finishes and is having trouble clearing himself up, Crystal walk up behind and be like, "I can help you with that if you want, mate."
Please.
He'll just press the digitation it off his face.
It seems a little oddly resilient, but it does eventually go. It's like a real struggle to get that stain out. And he'll step down from the stump and nod to you and say, "Thank you, brother," and hurries on back inside.
No worries, mate. And then just sort of turn to look back, watch him go, and then turn to look at Zigger and just give him the "what the fuck is going on" face.
And everyone returns to their work. And we will leave it there.
All right. Well, that was interesting.
Yes. Oh dear.
I am suitably unnerved, I think, and very interested in the payoff.
I'm sure nothing wrong is happening.
I'm sure.
This fucking sucks.
It sucks.
We're just that there's never not any trouble. Like, I know that's the point and everything, but fucking hell.
I was gonna say, what kind of game do you want me to run where there's never not any trouble?
But it's always church shit. It's like, hello, we're the church. We're creepy as fucking clearly up to something. It's like, uh-huh.
I mean, I think this is pretty non-church. They seem pretty against the church, if anything.
But by which, of course, by association means they are to do with the church.
This is a risk of running a game in a theocracy.
Yeah, exactly. No. I have no complaint about it. It's interesting. So, I did wonder what you decided to do with all this.
I would. I mean, it would be nice if at some point we got some answers, because it feels like every single time we move on to a new thing, we don't ever get answers to the previous thing. We just get new questions.
Well, it's an overarching plot thread. We are getting, like, I think that's how it always works, right? You get new questions until you start seeing answers to some of the old ones, which start explaining the new ones.
Well, like for instance with Mother Argyle, there was really no resolution there. We have no idea what caused Mother Argyle to go into
this
her.
Is pretty clearly a follow-up to that, like a direct follow-up to that. So, and this is the beginning of this mini arc. So, like, if anything, this is still introducing some things. Like, I think it's likely we'll get some more information from this mini arc.
Like, truthfully, I think what we're seeing at the moment in all of these smaller arcs are the aftershocks of what happened, but we haven't got any of the why what happened yet, which is fine.
Right.
Like, you see the effects before you figure out the cause, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, we don't know, like, thinking about all the different things that we've encountered so far, like the Mother Argyle, we don't know anything about why any of that happened. We don't know about the mysterious, what we're going to call the outsider, that kept meeting with us in that town, but only in that town. We've never seen him before, and we've never seen him after. We don't know anything
really
about...
had time to see him after.
I was going to say after has been one session. So...
Right.
I have suspicions that there's one of their cult here.
And we don't have any idea who set off the negative energy shrine.
Nope.
We don't know. I'm trying to look back even further. What the results were of that thing that we blew up the orcs with? Like how that might be related to what's going on here.
That particular one may or may not be related.
I'm pretty sure that one's just a side thing. Like, Tom, out of interest, the ichor coming out of the guy's mouth when it cracked. When the big gribble appeared in the sky, when we were running back from the forest, we went past like a shrine to one of the gods. I think it might have been Quintus.
Yes.
And there was ichor coming out of its mouth, like out of the statue.
Yes.
Was it the same?
Possibly.
Do they look similar?
They look similar, yeah.
Sure.
You haven't
I'm
exactly done a chemical analysis on it, but they look pretty
No,
similar.
yeah. They're not like different colors or whatever.
No,
They're not
no.
like they're both blackish or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. Yep, sure. Yep. I mean, my intent next session is to go look at that shrine, or try to,
Sure.
like, go
Yeah.
back out into the forest.
My intent next question is to look at this because I'm assuming we can kind of see this from the town.
Oh yeah.
The broken tower, yeah.
Yeah, the
Like
tower
it's
is
in like very disrepair, in a state of disrepair, unlike the other stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of unusual. And plus, we knew who lived there. So
Oh, they may have left it alone. We can talk about it with Garrett. Like, it's awkward because we're going to be starting a new conversation with Garrett, but a lot of the initial questions that I was going to ask have already been asked, and we know the answers in character or out of character. So asking them again in character is weird.
Well, you can talk about it in character and then not have to ask those questions again.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably what we'll end up doing.
Yeah. Chris would, like, once everyone walked away, Chris would relay what he heard from Garrett and be like, I mean, you can go talk to him if you like. He's just an old dude whose eyes have been crystalled.
Yep.
all right, well, exciting things await us next time, I'm sure, and horrifying things.
Indeed.
See, I also call bullshit on him saying it's his hearing because Tabit doesn't make noise.
Wow, he has a nose.
Tabit's not that fucking smelly.
You don't know if Tabit wasn't in Pooh Alley all last night, to be
Needs a
fair.
bath.
I'm pretty sure we would have noticed if my cat smelt of shit.
True.
Unless she always smells like shit.
No.
She is on occasion a shitter, so...
Yeah, no, that's different. It's not the same.
When one shits.
The one who shits. I am the one who shits.
God, please.
Oh no.
All over your hopes and dreams.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
I don't know.
Jesus. Right. I think I'm gonna drop off and go grab some food, but it's been cool.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Thank you for playing, everyone.
Thank you for
Thanks
running.
for running.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Well, that was